Hello and welcome back to a Nomad Tale. In this episode, there is only gameplay. No goal, no challenge mode, no campaign. However, for the first time ever, we're going to follow each individual wing of the Jolly Ranchers Corporation as they conduct their unique business in space. The first act of this video follows our security wing as they vie for respect, glory, and bounty. The second act shadows our labor wing as they navigate an unexpected technological evolution. The third act watches our specialist wing as it manages field operations, trade, manufacturing, exploration, and more. When all three wings have finished their business, Act 4 will reconcile numerous mechanical issues we ran into with great detail and enthusiasm. I believe that we all have so much to learn, a thought that makes me happy. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. It has been a while, Capsular. A lot has changed for us and maybe for you too. For this adventure, we're taking a big step. We're adding a fifth account to our lineup. Adding another account isn't necessary, but it does unlock a few interesting things for us. Furthermore, we've trained into new ships, have developed new combat strategies, and have nurtured a Tech 3 business thanks to what we learned about industry from last episode. Let's go through each wing and reveal what they've gained for this episode. The security wing gets a fifth pilot, but because multi-boxing PvP is so hard, I have no desire to add another fighting character. But what if we use this character slot as bait? If we have a throwaway character that's out of the corporation, we can simply biomass it after baiting somebody and remain completely undetected. That is what I'd like to try in this episode. The labor wing has picked up a fourth prospect pilot. This is obviously a large increase in the amount of gas that we can intake per second, but it also takes us from a combined ore hold of 37,500 to a nice round 50,000 cubic meters. This means much faster sights and even fewer trips. The specialist wing has devoted its new character slot to a dedicated hacker. Hacking has always been a problem for us in terms of which character should do it. Originally, we had our main combat pilot do it, but this was tedious, swapping around ships so much, and our scanner can't do it because of the valuable virtue implants she's holding. So adding a dedicated hacker means we don't have to worry about losing the character if something goes terribly wrong. This is really nice for peace of mind. Now, a final note about the structure of this video. The clips are all in order, just isolated by wing. So what we're about to watch is still natural progression, but between acts 1, 2, and 3, we reset back to the beginning of the timeline. However, they were played out concurrently, so keep that in mind as you watch. Now, enough prologuing, let's get into it. The Jolly Ranchers Corporation has 3 wings. The first of these is the security wing. This squadron of characters is responsible for all things combat, including defense, offense, and reconnaissance. In the first act, we're going to explore how these security characters interact with the world around them. From ice fishing to baiting, from ambush hunting to playing polarity games, the goal is simple. Get lots of cool, meaningful kill mills with as few losses as humanly possible. The characters that make up the security wing largely don't fly specific ships. You may notice ship lineups changing from scene to scene. This is just how I play. I hope you enjoy watching the conflict. So this wormhole J001302 is one I've been in a few times, and it's notable because it's a C4 magnetar that also spawns C3 sites. This is pretty desirable for solo radders. But I just got here, but I think I saw somebody ratting in here. There's an Astero on D-scan. Now off of D-scan. Somebody was definitely ratting here. There are wrecks popping up. I wonder if this is somebody that rats here all the time. It's impossible to tell if this is somebody wandering in or not, but Astero is a pretty uncommon choice for scanning. If this person lives here and rats there, they're gonna have a pretty bad time if I catch them. So I kind of just assumed that with a nullsec static, there would not be much in the way of traffic. Especially because C4s don't usually spawn pirate relics like this. Alas, I was wrong, so... I have scanned down this little buzzard here, and I'm going to use this Instalock Nemesis to apply 3 points of warp, scramble, strength to him. Not a whole lot this character is going to be able to do here. Well, that brought me absolutely no joy, I'll be honest. But you know what? Shouldn't have been hacking in a shattered wormhole. Amateur mistake right there. So there's this pacifier scanning this system down. Just casually drifting off of the wormhole, uncloaked. I have no idea what's going on, but as one does, I've used my own scanning pacifier to slowly fly up to him while cloaked. What I'm sort of hoping to do here is to use the Instalock Nemesis to catch the pacifier by warping it to mine. But I really don't know what's going on. I've never seen this behavior before with this ship. I have the Legion coming. He's not fighting back. So seeing a pacifier just kind of burning off like that, that's a first. But pacifier is a big kill. I'm happy to take these all day. You should not be in this ship if you're this careless. How do I know? I've personally lost them before. So I've set up the bait heron off of a high sec wormhole in the chain, and would you know it, a Tholos is currently headed for the heron. I've got a world of hurt set up for this Tholos. If he keeps going, he's gonna keep going. Alright, let's try this. Gonna web him, go for a scram. Tackling with the insta-lock Nemesis. Now he's completely stuck. Going for the Legion now. Alright, well. Got him with the Legion. Looks like the Nemesis is pretty cooked though. Yeah. He's not getting away from the Legion though. Trying to get the Typhoon over there. A little close range with the Torps. Yikes. He's definitely not going anywhere with the Legion though. This is my standard tank Legion. Not really too much in the way. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa. How is he so far away? What the f- Wait, what the f just happened?
You cannot cloak your ship as you are being targeted by someone. You cannot cloak your ship as you are being targeted by someone.
It's like the perfect target. Let's see if he goes for it. I'm gonna friggin' pwn him. This is my chance to make up for it. Is he going for it? Oh yeah, he is. Oh yeah, he is. Let's see if he goes for the loot. Oh, 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 there he is. Is he leaving? No, you're not leaving. He left. The f out of here. No, you didn't. This Loki is actually coming at the Heron instead of just sitting at the hole and sniping. Oh, dude, it is go time. Wow, he approached the bait. Yeah, I brought proper tackle this time. Really hard for a lot of ships to get away from a Proteus. Loki is almost hard countered by it. I say almost because heavy Lokis exist. Wow. Hell yeah, dude. Oh, it's so sick. Nothing dropped though. Jeez Louise. Oh, it's nasty. Alright, so we got a kill with Yusanani Parma. A good one too, a Loki. I missed that Tholos and the other Loki did pwn me, but whenever I get a kill, or I guess give away that this is a bait character, I'm going to do something pretty cruel, but really neat and something I've always wanted to do really badly. And that is biomass the character, right? So after 10 hours, I can shred this character. It'll be gone forever, and I can make a new one in this slot. Since this account is Omega, I can do whatever I want with these characters, play them simultaneously. My goal is to really not train them, fly things like herons, ventures, epithals, and just kind of use this guy or girl, whoever's here, to kind of set up the kills on the people that are a bit greedy. So yeah, I can't believe it worked that well, that fast. There's that many people attacking me. It's like, geez, this is going to go a lot better than I thought. Love it. Well, goodbye, Yusanani. It was real, bro. Good night. Oof. Well, it's not much, but it's an honest start. The buzzard kind of got caught in the thick of it. Interloping, taking my relics, has to go. The pacifier, really no explanation for that one. Just really poor tactic, and of course, the old bait and switch. Well, at least I got it to work once. Alright, so there is this coveter sitting on this wormhole. Not sure what he's doing. This is in my class 4. And just by sheer luck, there's an exit down chain, one jump from a Mar. So since my ships are in a Mar already, I figure, hell, let's see if I can actually race this coveter. If I can get there, I can probably kill it with the dictor. This is too funny. He's already been sitting there for like a minute, man. So I've just got to go through 2 other wormholes first. There's a class 1 and a class 5. Let's see if I can get him. This is so funny to me. There's obviously the chance it's bait, right? But I kind of get the impression it's not bait. I think the coveter's still here. I would have seen it on D-scan otherwise. There it is. Overheat on this. See if I can get this killed. He's got Vespas, interesting. Let's see who wins this race. I have a feeling I win the race, but I'm not sure. I have an armor tank, right? But it's not that strong, admittedly. But it looks like I'm winning the race handedly here. I wonder if any other ships are gonna come. I don't want to defang him because I'm blasters. It would take so long. I think I just gotta work through it. I think I can beat him. Yeah, he's probably got a shield buffer tank here, right? Yeah. So his armor is going to go down really quickly. I can do a few more cycles of heat here. Just a couple. Gotta be careful. He's hull. He's hull. A couple more cycles. I'm hull. This is coming down to the wire here. I think I got him. Hey, I did it. Yo, that's crazy, bro. Good shit. I literally came from Omar to kill this guy. Like a bunch of jumps down the chain. It's too funny. Let's see if he had anything. Not really. So I saw this group of people going in and out of this wormhole here, and I'm gonna make a play here. The Eris is not moving for some reason. Okay. Blocking the Eris. Wait. Wait, what? Wait, the Proteus just one-shot the Eris like it was an Artie Loki? What the? Alright, yeah, same people on the other side of that wormhole, just ratting, completely unaware that they just lost somebody. It is a Drake, so I'm kind of expecting it to go down quickly here. But I'm a little bit paranoid that they're going to bring backup, so... let's see what happens. The Proteus involved here. Yeah, nothing on D-scan, 2 strategic cruisers on the Drake. I don't think he's going to live. Doesn't look like he's really doing anything to damage us either. Haven't even touched armor yet. Pretty simple kill here. Not much satisfaction in killing a Drake. However, kind of asking for it by ratting right next to where your friend died. Just saying. We'll take it. We'll take it. So this is the 2-part story for how Violence is the Answer tried to bait me, but because I have studied the ways of polarity, I end up maybe baiting them back. Words that I will surely never regret uttering, ever. So to start off with this Akator sitting on a wormhole at 0, clearly in my vision, clearly knows I see him. So I bring a Proteus and push him through twice. Now at this point I can bring the Proteus back through and double polarize myself, or probably more wisely we could bring the Legion over. And this is going to be ideal because I can splash twice on the Legion. It essentially has 2 lives left, so kind of a long shot here. Going to try to decloak the Akator, and would you know it, turns out this fear math was on my side today. So somehow decloaked him with the warriors. And I have a faction scram on this Legion, which means he's probably not going anywhere, especially if I get a bump. So now the Akator is double polarized. I'm acutely aware this is bait at this point, so I'm just waiting for his homies to show up. But they do have to show up, make no mistake. He's in big trouble. Granted, this Legion, as we saw earlier with the Tholos, does not do the most damage in favor of having stronger tanks, so opportunities like this can occasionally get affected because of that, but here we go, here we go. I spy with my little eye a Saber, a Drake Navy issue, a Jaguar. What else we got? A broadsword. So far, I'm gonna be honest, none of these things actually get us to stop shooting this Akator. None of them do enough damage or have new pressure. Now, the Drake Navy does hit pretty hard. I think I tank everything on grid right now. So this Akator is probably gonna go down still. And it's been 5 minutes and the Akator lost polarity and jumped the wormhole. Well, time to get my Legion out of here then. So first things first, let's jump through and use one of our 2 lives and see who follows us. It kind of looks like everyone followed the Legion. Which means that my Legion can just go right back through, and none of them can follow me back. Which, maybe a breakdown in communication on their end, not sure, but... yeah. So here we are in part 2, and just about 1 wormhole away from the previous incident's location, and same people, same ships, just a few more. We're sitting on a high-sec wormhole, kind of close to Jeddah, which means that all you gotta do is duck out and the combat stops, right? So knowing that, I'm happy to shoot these people to kind of get the ball rolling. Shot the Oracle, it immediately jumped. They brought everybody back through here. My Proteus is gonna have to jump pretty quickly here. And what I'm kind of thinking here is, I know I can't beat these guys. I even just saw Immune in there. I know I can't beat them in like a brawl, and I can't ambush them. But is there some way maybe one or more of them will get isolated? And if so, how do you do that? Are they gonna be sticky like rice? So this Loki is repping. The Loki is Logi. 2 Drakes. The Bait Bustard. Looks like another Drake on the outside. They have a lot of firepower here. If I ever get caught without a wormhole to dive into, I will lose pretty much anybody I uncloak at this point. There are a lot of them. So we are in high sec. This is kind of a bit of a stalemate situation. I'm just wondering if maybe one of them will get confused and shoot me, or... Yeah, there's an E&I here with a suspect timer. You see that? And also the Loki inside has a suspect timer. I'm gonna shoot the E&I and see what happens. The Oracle, the Loki, they can't really stop me from doing this. They have a broadsword now with a suspect timer. There's nothing they can really do to stop us right now. I'm happy to dip in and use polarity. Let's shoot these other 2 as well. The broadsword just slid in. Let's shoot the Logi Loki. I'm assuming he decloaked in J space. And has a polarity he can jump through right now. If this Loki jumped through twice just now to heal his buddy, he's in big trouble. The fact that he's not jumping is actually kind of shocking. I'm kind of capping myself out here. Wait. Did he double polarize himself to heal the X-Core Navy issue, and then the X-Core Navy issue dipped? What the f... Did I just execute a man in front of his entire team? Legally? I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through the broadsword by the time he can go back through, but... let's give it a shot. What the f was that? There it is. I'd say, pretty resounding win. If you add up the numbers on that one. Man. Like I said, polarity. There's one thing you don't want to mess with me on, and that's probably it.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
You ever wake up before and just see a whole pack of Hulks in your wormhole? Just happily chewing away at some nice. I feel like this has happened to me a few too many times now for me to do anything other than exterminate the whole pack here. As tempting as it may be to just go in there and just absolutely YOLO it, really feel strongly that I need to wait a few moments and see what's going on and see if anybody decloaks before I hard commit. This is kind of like that period of time where the shark is corralling the fish into a shoal. Alright, I don't see anything decloaking and the hulks are looking like they're starting to panic. I feel like it's probably time to go for it. It hasn't been that long. I can probably kill all of these still if I actually manage these characters. So I can tell you right now, this Legion is having issues, but at least the Proteus is getting work done. I feel like I need to move quickly here, and I'm not. It feels like I'm in slow motion, like molasses. And for some reason, whatever I'm doing with the Legion, I just can't get close enough to them. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe I'm just really slow. Also, I don't have a bubble now. Somehow it's been several minutes since I dropped that bubble. Oh god. Let's see if I can catch anything at all. This is definitely a lot of stimuli. Oh my god, I'm gonna let them all go. I have seen this movie far too many times for it to end this way, but alas, it has ended this way once again. I feel like I got 2 or 3, or I got like 4 maybe. I don't even know how many I got. It's crazy how much adrenaline, like hunting a pack of things that can't fight back can give you. It's like they can't even fight back. What's the big deal? Anyway, that was an exciting way to kind of start this off. What the hell? Definitely do not come in here and mine in a shattered wormhole without some muscle. You're gonna take some losses. That's my advice. I just killed a heron. And yeah. A little confused. So here's the heron kill. It's a combat heron. I killed it with my dictor. And I didn't even record it because who wants to see a heron die? And then check me out. We have crystals. Now we have a Dragovats here. I mean, I almost want to fight it, dude. Pretty much got both sides of this wormhole completely locked down at this point. I'm not sure what the way out is for the Dragovats. These can have a micro jump drive, but I have scramblers, so that won't do. We jump through, bubble them off, transfer to the scram. A little slow here. Alright. I feel like maybe could have got an MJD off there. I was so slow at that. Now no way out though. Web down. Outgunned. Dragovats is a real fine ship. It's just a little awkward when alone, and quite frankly, strategic cruisers are in a league of their own out here. They really are. See, I'm a little double polarized right now, but doing this methodically myself. Highly aware of that fact. Ready to fight. You know, I'm getting flashbacks right now. We have a Stratos sitting on a wormhole. Acting a little bit reckless, if I'm being honest. On the off chance if he double polarizes himself and goes for my bait, he's insta-toasted. Is he gonna do it? Oh, you fool. You fool. You've activated my trap card. This is a nice one because... well, he's nuding me, actually. Wait. Can we hold point? Yeah, he's screwed. Thought he was gonna get off with the nuke. This is a nice one because... our guys were on the other side of the wormhole we had to jump through. It was probably terrifying for this Stratos. To hear all those thumps. And to see this. Yup, that's a Proteus and a Legion. All up in your grill. Proteus and a Legion. Proteus and a Legion. All up in your grill. Proteus and a Legion. All up in your grill. All up in your grill. All up in your grill. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. That's what you get for picking on herons and magnates. Rule number 3, don't pick on magnates. Wait a second. I violate this rule a lot. So many kills. Coveter kind of floating on a hole, waiting to die. Happy to take that. Harrison Drake in way over their heads. Loki, of course, mismanaged polarity and suspect timers. Completely happy to take that. The gigantic pack of Hulks. Well, I didn't get them all, but I got a couple, and I got a pod, and I got another pod, and I got an MTU, and I got a Dragovots, all from the same crew. Not bad. Finally, another bait and switch. Little crusty rusty here in the Stratos. Taking the baits and paying the iron price for it. Kind of starting to feel myself now, but maybe that's a bad thing. Either way, we have quite a crew here and a number of tactics, and really want to see what we can do next. Yeah, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Somebody is ratting here, but they're not on D-scan, which means they have to be in like a recon ship. This is crazy. Is somebody ratting in a recon ship? Yeah, even more bodies coming up now. Look, another one just popped up. Alright, let's start figuring out where this person is. Also, do we have any drones? I don't see any drones. Let's figure out where this person is. We're assuming they're at an anomaly, right? Let's just scan them all. Yeah, let's go by distance. Make it easier on us. Oh, here it is. Found it. Oh, shit, I think I found him. Yeah, I got your Rex here, don't I, buddy? Yup. Ooh, can I catch you? What are you in? It's gotta be like a rook or a... This is exciting. It's a f***ing rook. Unbelievable. I'm gonna kill this guy. This is so cool. I should be able to do this no problem. Just have to take my time. Oh, this is so cool. So I'm gonna get him when he loots one of the last cans, I guess. And you're caught. Oh, you're dead. Not getting out of this, bud, sorry. today, not tomorrow, not any day. Gotcha, bud. It's tanking pretty well. It's not going to cut the mustard, though. So much loot. Holy shit. What is this kill mail? Holy smokes. Let's see what that kill mail was. Oh, this game is so fun. Look, I got him. Look, I fucking got him. I told you I was gonna get him. That was the Astera pilot that I saw like a month ago in here. I told you I was gonna get him. Can't believe we finally caught that ratter. I didn't realize he'd be in a rook though. Crazy. Alright. I feel like I should just drop the bubble and see what they do and kill them with the Legion if they don't do anything. You know? It's only 2 Hulks and a Porp. If they do something, I guess fight the tackle. Try to get it off, yeah. Here I come. Oh, they're moving now. Ooh, worst case scenario for a bro here. Ooh, both Hulks got stranded. Oof. Oof. That's a brutal one. I think I'm probably going to be out damage this guy too. Let's try it. I think these Hulks are about to get murdered. Murdered. Yep, it's got nothing. It's got nothing. I'm going to warp this guy up there too, just in case. I'm whole tanked, baby. Gonna not burn my guns out. That's one. That's one. My instincts were good, bro. Damage is about to taper off. There's no scrams. We're in good shape. Let me lock up this pod, kill the pod next. I'm good, bro. Alright, I'm gonna burn out with this guy. Drop another bubble. We're gonna burn out with this guy. We're gonna burn out to this right here. See if I can keep him alive. I think I'll be good. I'm not scrammed. I'm good. Whew, he's alive. Now can we go for this guy? Let's try it. Put some jabs on here. Keep this guy nice and scrammed. Yeah. How far do we head out? 26? Beautiful. See if we can do it. If not, we're gonna have to burn the f out over here, I guess. Yeah, this one works. Oh, that's there. Let's not do that one. Let's do this one right here. Can I do it? I think I'm gonna get both. I think I can get this Hulk too. Yep, I'm gonna get both. This is incredible. You can't tank this. I'm still alive. He had no backup. This is insane. It's to see if the bubble's gonna last long enough. Is he burning out of the bubble? Oh, he burned out of the bubble. We gotta stop him. We gotta stop him. Oh, f this guy. Where'd he go? He went to gel. All right, let's get him a gel. I'm gonna catch him a gel. We'll get him on the other side. All right, let's get off the grid with this guy. Go to the far strange. Alright, we'll come back to this loot. This guy's warping off. We're landing here. We're gonna bubble here. I'm gonna go through. He went through as well. I should probably... Oh, I have no more bubble. I'm out of bubbles. Oh, this is bad. Let's see if I can just get away with a regular tackle. Yeah, got him. No way. This is crazy. I gotta overheat though. I'm about to run out of health. Here we go. Not much left in the tank here. This is so sick. Don't overheat. I'm gonna let this guy's pod go. Can't get him. Shit, I'm gonna get killed. Come on! Go! There you go. I can't fucking kill him. This is ridiculous. It's like I'm saving for the pod here. I've been watching this prospect here spin this C-70 Cloud for a little bit now. And I believe I have him pretty much figured out. So instead of trying to catch him with the Legion, which is going to be slow and impossible, I'm going to see if I can put this interdictor right on his face. It's going to be really close. Look at that, I landed in bubble range. Oh my gosh, I landed in like scram range. That was actually luckier than I had hoped. As pretty as these ice belts are, they are awfully dangerous. Mackinac is about to get it. Just by himself. In a Mac, in an ice belt, in a shattered. No cares in the world. I haven't seen anybody coming in and out of the wormholes. I'm fairly certain this person is on their own. Definitely low levels of anxiety on this one. If I screw this up, then we have a major problem. Ejected. That's good. Nothing crazy in there. Alright. Even though there are hundreds of Dread Ratters out there in J-Space at any given time, happily farming away, actually seeing them with our own eyes is pretty rare. The reason for this is simple. They close the wormholes before they rat. Thus, the only way to see these ships in action is to actively roll into them or log out in their system. Here we're looking at a 4 Dread setup with 3 Naglfar fleet issues and a Zernitra in a Class 6 wormhole. These ships are super impressive to me and embody what it means to be strong, at least aesthetically, but they are not without their Achilles heel. In this case, it's the loot that's vulnerable, not the ships. You see, when wormhole ratters think they're alone like this one does, they're lazy as hell. They lackadaisically drop MTUs, don't descan, and use paper salvage ships with no backup. We've learned this lesson already. We've learned it well. An important mechanic to know is that when clearing sleeper sites with dreads, extra reinforcements spawn, and high-class sites have an optional boss rat called a drifter that can be killed for a lot of loot. Here we see the dreads killing one now. When this NPC dies, it drops 300 million worth of blue loot in a jet can. Every time, no questions asked. Typically, this jet can is then hoovered up by an MTU, like the rest of the loot, and collected later on. But what's stopping us from just flying into the site, decloaking, and grabbing that one special jet can with all the loot in it? Well, Turns out absolutely nothing. And that's exactly what we've done here. This was definitely the easiest 300 million ISK I've ever earned in my entire life. And the only question that I have at this point is, will this capsulator even notice our mischief, or are they completely oblivious to this? Alright, well, it seems that they are none the wiser. Here they are killing another drifter. We have a choice to make. Do we keep pilfering drifter loot and potentially get noticed, or do we do something more drastic? Like make a play on their salvaging or hauling ship? Either way, we're going to have to wait for an opportunity to pop up, so let's just enjoy this epic view while it lasts. We might not see it again for a long time. Yeah, so the time is now. The Noctis is here, completely unguarded, totally AFK it looks like. Usually people that use these Noctises to salvage also pick up the blue loot, so... kind of anticipating he's got some blue in here as well. Couple notes here. We could have waited for him to grab more loot, but bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. What if he just did one or two sites and stopped? I'd feel pretty foolish for not attacking this right now, huh? Not really expecting him to bring anybody here. I didn't see anything else on D-scan anywhere. I think this person is just ratting. No defense. So we'll happily take this Noctis kill. Alright, well, overall, stealing a drifter can, killing the Noctis, and then killing 2 more MTUs that were abandoned. We took home over $1.5 billion worth of loot. Not a bad haul at all. And extremely fun to boot. This guy has his Lesh here and he's just sitting there doing nothing, which is bizarre. I kind of wonder if I could shoot him from within range of the wormhole and not be punished for that. Probably not. I think I'm just gonna stay like right here and just shoot him within range of the wormhole. That way, no matter what happens, I can just click it and go. This is the dumbest thing I've ever done. I'm just doing this for fun, I suppose. Alright, let's try it. I just want to see how long it takes him to notice. Oh my god, he's dying really fast for some reason. What the hell? Wait, why is he dying so fast? I didn't expect him to have such low armor. There we go. Wait, am I just killing him? This is weird. Why is he dying? He's getting closer and closer. I'm gonna give him the royal bump here. See if I can kill him. Shh, went the wrong way. Can I get him?
The capacitor is empty.
Can I get him here or no? Can I get him? This would be so cool. Now I'm really regretting not bringing my other ship. Oh, he's so low. He's so low. Can he jump?
The capacitor is empty.
He jumped. Damn. Alright, well, I guess we'll see what's on the other side. Alright, they're coming in hot now. They're coming in hot. They're coming in hot. I'm gonna have to get back within range here and bump through. It's funny how the Lash is now trying to toast me. It's like, dude, careful now. Alright, so I have a patented way to beat these guys. So here's what it is. Basically, I'm gonna spook them with this thing. Right? And as they go for that, this guy is gonna go this way. And get out. And this guy is gonna go through. I've done this too many times before. Look at that lash, it's so low. I'd love to like finish it off, but I'm not gonna be able to. So there's the flycatcher. Let's see if we can go for the decloak. I highly doubt it. Alright, so this is good. This is good. Ready for it? Alright. Watch this. We're gonna have to outpilot a heretic on the other side, basically. But it's definitely doable. Let's watch this heretic and make sure he doesn't get anywhere close to me. So we're gonna have to go this way. Just pray to Jesus we can get this. Did his bubble drop? Fascinating. Fuck, that's so bad for me. Probably just lost the Legion here. Alright, let's try to fight. Probably just died here. It's really bad for me. I don't know how I got decloaked.
A module has run out of charges. The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty.
Alright, so I've been chasing this prospect now for what feels like way too long. And I swear I just cannot kill it. I'm in a black hole system and this person has like an afterburner on and like I literally cannot get my Eris to get close enough to the ship to actually hit it with the blasters. This might be more embarrassing than losing that Loki to that ghost site. I literally cannot kill it with my Eris. It won't die. So I'm gonna have to cheat and put drones on it with the Proteus. Gosh. Harvest implants. Harvest. What is that? Alright, so I just splashed into this hole, and there was somebody ratting. And he didn't finish his sight. And I scanned it down. And it looks to me like they pulled the MTU and didn't pick up the loot from the MTU. When you pick up an MTU, it ejects the loot, right? I think that's what this is. If this is the blue loot from the site, this is going to be insane. Oh my god. 779 million isks sitting in a jet can, floating in space. I just walked up and took it. Alright, that was the easiest isk I've ever made. What the f... So this is the classic situation where I've logged on to do some scanning. And instead I'm greeted with people ratting in the Magnetar. I've never seen this before though. This person's using 2 Tengus. I just have 3 vessels for this. Legion, a Proteus, and the Odysseus. I don't know necessarily if I can take this on. I know pretty intimately that this system virtually doubles one's damage. So 2 Tengus could do like 3,000-4,000 damage, no problem in here. So they definitely need to split up. Dude, am I the luckiest capsulator on the planet or what? Dude just splits his characters up for no reason. That was pretty much his only defense. Alright, well, the tackle is secure here. I don't think he's getting away, but I've been fooled before. I'm gonna hold him and see if I can tank him with the Legion, and then get the Proteus on him to finish him off, maybe? And I'm gonna try to assist these drones over to the Proteus here. Oh, look how fast he is. And he's shooting my Proteus already. Oh my god, no. This, I'm not gonna be able to kill him, watch. Watch me not be able to kill him now. Oh, he's gonna toast my Proteus. Oh, I can't even get on him. Oh, this is an absolute clown fiesta. I'm approaching him and it's not really getting me closer. This is almost the same thing that happened with my Eris before. I'm gonna have to... Yeah, I'm gonna have to orbit, I think. That'll get me to go on his side and get in front of him, maybe. I think I'm gonna die to this guy. How is he tanking? Wait, the drones aren't working? What happened? Why did assist not work? Oh my god, am I gonna f this up? Oh my god, the Legion was so useless here again. And he's about to get out of the Proteus's range. I cannot stay on top of him. This is not great. I'm gonna have to like leave and let him go. I cannot believe this. I have no cloak anymore. I feel like I kill him if I can just stay on top of him. I need like a web. Alright, I'm gonna have to bail. I'm out. I'm whole. I'm gone. I'm out. Whatever. I need so much more practice. What the hell? Am I gonna die? Wait. Wait, he died. Wait, he died, not me. Alright, I gotta know what's on this guy. 2 Tengus doing C4 ratting? What do you got? Lulu, sure, sure. Ooh, I saw abyssals. Some green. Oh god, looting is so hard. Dude, I am totally out of my depth here. This is absolutely crazy how bad I am at multi-boxing still. I need to have like a long heart-to-heart about how many modules to use and what strategies to use. No web is so suspect, right? Anyway, I got a lifetime to plan that out. Yeah, so it turns out one of the shield extenders is worth $1 billion, and the ballistic control is worth like 500 million, so... Wow. Wow. Incredible. Well, there you go. We managed to find that rook based off of not much more than a hunch and some patience. Got some more hulks, caught a prospect spinning a cloud, a Mackinaw doing ice. Really curiously, we caught this Noctis, this Dread Ratter, trying to take some blue loot for himself. But of course we were not without loss. Managed to lose a legion to pure hubris. But, however, make no mistake, we earned it back. We caught a Tengu worth over 3 billion, and oh my goodness, that is our biggest kill to date. The Jolly Ranchers Corporation has 3 wings. The second of these is the Labor Wing. This squadron of characters is responsible for collecting resources from the field, primarily Fullerites. In the second act, we're going to learn how these labor characters safely and efficiently harvest resources on our own in a space with no local. From field reports to close calls, from upgrading to safety procedures, the Labor Wing's goal is honest. Collect lots of resources and never, ever die. The characters that make up the Labor Wing are in fixed ships. The first pilot flies in a boosting ship and the others fly prospects. But in this episode, we'll notice a number of changes to how we collect gas, with the most obvious being that we've picked up a 4th prospect pilot. To help you understand the changes that this wing is going through, I'll put up a graphic that shows how our gas intake has increased over time. I hope you enjoy watching the work. For what seems like years now, we've been using 3 prospects with Tech 2 scoops and a Magus for mining boosts. This setup collects gas at a rate of roughly 13 cubic meters per second and wastes a quarter of the gas cloud. In this episode, as a benefit of adding a new account, we've unlocked a 4th prospect. This itself would be a nice increase in gas intake, but we've actually taken it a step further. It's been years, and we've yet to lose a prospect to players. The anxiety I face surrounding loss is clearly not justified. So, as a result, we'll be upgrading to Syndicate scoops across the lineup. With another prospect and upgraded scoops, our gas intake has almost doubled from 13 cubic meters a second to over 23. Of course, a loss would be devastating, but I think it's time to risk it for the biscuit. A future goal would be to further upgrade our setup, but there isn't really much room to grow right now. I'm pretty much maxed out. Syndicates, prospects, boosts. Unless I want to perch or risk something like a porpoise or barges, this is really it. You know, one of the first things that I personally learned about the variation in gas sites is that vital core reservoirs have some really strong rats in them. I don't think that this venture has quite reached that pinnacle of understanding yet. Rest in peace, guy. Let's just do some compression here. Pretty much out of space in the porpoise. You can see I'm getting all types of gas. Really, what I like to try to do now is to get like 3, 4, 5 billion worth of gas, if possible, before I go back. It really just depends on what we get, what types. If it's less valuable, we're going to fill up faster. You can see we already have 37,976 M3 worth of compressed gas, which is equivalent to moving the decimal over 1 to the right. So we have almost 400,000 M3 worth of gas. We can move 50,000 M3 at once with our 4 prospects. But, you know, we don't mind taking more than one trip either, so the only other thing I'll mention is that when you're on the porpoise here, it's kind of nice to just do this. Just close the client. And the reason for that is, if you watch from the other perspective, he'll just warp off and leave. You don't really have to think too hard about this. He'll move a million kilometers away and log off. The other thing is if you actually close the client when the industrial core has a while to go left, over 30 seconds, your porpoise will actually log off right here. It'll just, it won't even warp off. It'll just cloak. So kind of cool stuff. As for the Eris and the Magus, these guys are pretty much just playing guard dogs. So we'll cloak them up and kill those clients too. So here's sort of an example of working around these larger groups. We have a Hard Knocks Citadel here in this class 6. And there's definitely people here buzzing around. I saw 3 scanning ships flitting around. I did wait an hour or so before I came in here, but it's been an hour and I just popped on this instrumental core reservoir here. So it's going to be pretty hard for them to get me off of here. And I even have a ping on the exit hole so we don't warp directly to it, just in case they try to do a bubble or trap. Not really expecting them to actually stop me here, but we'll see. We were assuming they have it pre-scanned. We're assuming that they may even have a ping on grid, but probably not. But if they have a ping on grid or anything like that, small chance they could catch us. Really doubt it though. It's worth noting that we do have lots of redundant scanning here. The ability to refit to a bunch of scanners. But yeah, I'm really kind of playing safer. Didn't really get into it, but upgraded the syndicate scoops when we went to 5 accounts to try to boost the gas we get. So dying is no longer really an option. But we're going to finish this ICR if we can help it. If they're not going to push me off of it, I'll hop on here for a few hours even. But a little bit dangerous. They're active and they're obviously part of Hard Knocks. So they're going to have the ability to field some specialty tools to beat us. So see how it goes. Probably do a lot of descanning. But this is pretty much best case scenario stuff. Instrumental core reservoir opened up in the system I'm currently camping. So yikes. I'm going to take all of it. Now granted, I might not get all this 540 before the end of the day. Because when the rats spawn, I'm going to have to get on the big cloud. But this should be good for a billion-esque or so worth of gas. And pretty amazing because I was just on an instrumental yesterday. And instrumentals are a bit of a treat for a solo player. It doesn't do any rolling, so... pretty satisfied with what I'm seeing. Definitely going to take this. The one issue I'm noticing is that I'm actually running out of room in the Orca. Or Porpoise, even. Getting my whales confused here. But I'm running out of room in the Porpoise for gas. So it's about time to make a trip back to Alamake with the gas we do have. So I anticipate what we'll be doing today is chopping down this instrumental core reservoir and getting all of this 320. And then bringing it back to Alamake. Might even take more than one trip, we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. But good day today, no doubt. Alright, well that's kind of insane. All this compressed gas, 6.5 bill now. $3 bill worth of 320 alone. Yeah, this was a try-hard day for sure. I'm actually too tired to even think about the industry, so I'm gonna send these boys and girls back to the wormhole through Majamar one more time, and I'm gonna check this out tomorrow. That was so much gas, what the hell? Oh, I gotta drop this junk off the Keep Star. Anyway, let's check back in tomorrow. Alright, so this is a little bit weird. There are 2 ventures on a vital core reservoir in a class 6 right next to me. And all of my PvP characters are currently doing healthy baiting near a Mar, so I have nothing to really kill these prospects with. I did combat scan them down. I have a venture, or Magus here with some warriors, so... I mean, if they're AFK, I can probably get them here. If they're not AFK, they'll just run off, so let's see what happens. I don't know what's going on here. This is interesting. I wonder what the rats are going. Looks like the rats are chasing those prospects. It looks like they're almost AFK. Oh, that's too funny, bro. That's too funny. He legit died to the rats. Let's see if I can get off in time before I die. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so funny. Let me go loot him and see if he's got Cindy's or not. That's insane. I was wondering, like, what are you planning on doing here, man? This is insane. This can't work. Damn, he's got mad gas here. Can I get out in time? Yeah, I can. All right, he didn't have Cindy's or anything. I'm gonna come steal the gas now. This is so funny to me. What the f... So we have this guy here with a bunch of arbitrators who named his ship Go Away Chlorokin, and he's like yelling at me to leave. Not so sure what's happening. But these arbitrators are getting awfully close to me. It's kind of ridiculous. I've never seen such an ill-fitted response in my entire life, but I'm about to just bounce to the other site now. You ready? So we're at the miner right now. Oh, did you get some combats out? Nice. Let's go to the Baron. Watch this. Ready? This is awesome. Too funny. So now I'm just gonna mine over here. I don't think I would have done this if the dude wasn't like yelling at me in local. It's crazy. It's like, bro, you should have just left. Alright. I guess I'll stay. Reverse psychology. It's a hell of a drug. I guess I should keep doing some mining. Is this Gas Wars? Are we doing Gas Wars right now? Yeah, he's burning at me. I don't know how far an arbitrator could hit, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna like tracking disrupt me or some shit. Maybe he's gonna land the Loki right on top of me. I don't know, man. I don't know. I got a boost ready to rock. Loki's a bad tool in the first place. This is really funny, man. Oh, is he trying to head me off? Look, he's trying to head me off. Look. How much gas is left? Yeah, he's coming in now. Probably gonna warp at the center. Yep. Right on top of me. Here we go. Cloud's dead. Ready? Boop. Got him. Since getting into wormhole gas, I've largely favored a specific method of collection that I call spinning. Spinning is when you orbit the cloud and let the rats harmlessly chase you. In other games, this is called kiting. However, spinning doesn't work on two of the gas sites, the ordinary perimeter and the vital core. In the ordinary, turrets prevent a spin, but in vitals, the rats can actually hit out to the distances that we spin at. And they hit hard. But there exists a technique that predates spinning called Jedi mind tricking. In this very series, we referenced this early on, although what I thought was Jedi mind tricking back then is actually spinning. This technique is distinct from spinning, which attempts to stay far away from the rats, because Jedi mind tricking actually involves speed tanking them. You will be getting shot by the rats while Jedi mind tricking. Now, I always thought it was impossible to speed tank vital core reservoir rats with any degree of reliability, but it turns out that this is wrong. With a 10 meganewton afterburner, a couple of boosts, and some cojones, the rats actually can't hit us. But don't take my word for it. I've done the math, and here it is. The rats have something like a 1 in a billion chance to hit us. It's not happening. That's more than enough. Learning how to Jedi mind trick vital core reservoirs was really the last missing piece of the puzzle for us. No gas dares to be uncollected now, and with ease. This is truly a monumental moment for the Jolly Ranchers Toiler Squadron, and I could not be happier now that I know how to conquer vital core reservoirs. This person attacking me right now, there they are. Capybara. Saw them pop up some probes not that long ago. But you can kind of see that the location they combat scanned me at was very far away. It's a nice example, actually, of what happens when you combat scan someone spinning. You land very far away from them. Now, this person was way too far away from me. They must have waited quite some time before actually warping, so... Wait, are they gonna burn at me? Oh, look, they're burning at me. Oh, this is sick. You know, normally you would just F off here, but I think I'm gonna manually pilot a little bit, maybe. See if I can get this Eris killed by the rats. I do move faster than the Eris, which I don't know if he noticed. Alright, I'm gonna fly behind these and see. Look, the rats are already chasing the Eris. Look, they're already chasing it. Come on. You know you wanna kill that Eris. Come on, rats. Do something for your boy. I wonder if he even noticed if I changed directions or not. Getting within 150 km. Alright, getting close. Are the rats gonna shoot him? I suppose I'll have to boosh if he keeps getting close. Oh, wait. He's turning. There he goes. Goodbye, friend. Thank you, rats. Appreciate you guys. Much love. I'm gonna have to start naming these rats. Jeez. Petunia, Gerald, Steve. Love you guys. I wonder what the play is. Seriously, I wonder what the play is. Oh, I see. You're gonna use the Moa to snipe me? It's crazy. Moa's got a micro warp drive or something. I think I'm gonna round the corner and the Moa's gonna die to the rats. This is pretty tragic. I'm pretty sure this Moa's gonna get smoked by the rats. I'll see how he survives it. This is crazy. So he's gonna get kind of close, but I'm just too fast for him. I think he dies next time they switch. I don't think he's gonna be able to warp off either. Oh no. He needs to be very, very quick. Oh, they're leaving target now. Careful. Are they on? Uh-oh. I think they're on him. No way! That's fucking hilarious. Wow. Blap. Dude, yeah, I figured they're gonna one-shot him. Dude, that's so funny. So there's a big patch, catalyst, and long story short, in that patch, a couple new things for the gas and nomad playstyles. Cutting right to the chase, there's an upgraded new mining frigate, or sorry, destroyer, called the Outrider. You make it out of a Pioneer. And this is going to largely replace the Magus in my setup. I'm going to talk about the various upgrades and why I would be so sure it's going to replace it. Talk a little bit about the other gas changes as well, but just wanted to show you real quick. I bought the blueprint out in ore space, and I made a copy of some of the blueprints, and I used invention on those to try to create these Outrider blueprints. So I'm hoping that between one of these three I get it. That one failed. Alright, we got one at least. Alright, we got two. Beautiful. Beautiful. And they've got 5 runs each. This should be enough to last me a while. Now if we put it in here, you'll see I actually have the materials already. I'm so happy. I can make 2 of them right now, and I think I will. It's only 11 hours. Tomorrow I could have one, so... I'm gonna do that. It sounds fun. And when I get that, I'm going to slowly edit my characters to kind of allow for the ship to take over the crew once again. And I'm super geeked out about it, so one thing at a time. Let me build it first and then we'll talk about it. The Outrider is the new command destroyer that we'll be using. It boosts stronger, it has a 20,000 M3 gas bay, and it can actually equip its own scoops and benefit from its own boosts. It is, in many ways, a direct upgrade over the Magoose we've been using for so long. Welcome. Alright, so a patch has introduced a new ship, the Outrider. This is a command destroyer that offers a direct upgrade over our humble Magus. It can also equip scoops itself, and although it's not bonus, it can collect at a rate roughly half of that of a prospect. With this single ship upgrade, our gas intake has increased from 23 cubic meters a second to almost 28. This is a pretty massive upgrade, however, it's not the end of the upgrade train. The patch also introduced mutaplasmids for gas cloud scoops, which means in the future we can roll our scoops and attempt to achieve even greater intake rates. So the Outrider is a pretty insane upgrade for me. I did the math, and it's something like a 20% increase to the active amount of intake I'm getting per second with my setup. It still has an MJFD, it just has better boosts, but what's really kind of nuts about it, and the reason why I get so much, and the reason why somebody with 4 or even 3 accounts would get so much out of this is because, yeah, the Outrider scoops gas itself. The Outrider is about, with its own boosts, equal to about half of one of these. So it's just massive. The one thing that kind of changes, and I noticed this right away, was that it's significantly slower than the Magoose or the Bivrast or something like that. Now this doesn't matter for pretty much all of these sites where we just kind of spin around the outside, but for the Jedi Mind Trick, I'm a little bit worried it's going to have a worse tank. Well, I know it's going to have a worse tank, speed tank, but I guess I just got to check the math on it and get some confidence. But really the last hurdle with this would be to just see if it can tank those VCRs. Final note here about the ship's equipment itself is it has a 20,000 M3 gas bay. It's a lot of extra space for compressed gas for me. Super awesome. Small change to mining ships in general is this mining overlay. It'll kind of transpose the information on the overlay now about what's in it and how much is left and what the value is, which is kind of nice to watch. I particularly like going to tactical mode here and kind of zooming out like this. I think this is really cool. Of course, you want to be safe, so keep an eye on it. But yeah, this is a really welcome upgrade to the amount of intake that I can get from this setup, and I think you're going to see every serious kind of spinning style solo multi-boxing gas collector pick these up in short order because it is just an undeniable amount of extra gas. So super happy about that. If I could find a vital core here, I'll switch over to the 10MN and we'll test some theory craft I've kind of built up. So something small that I want to note about the Outrider and command destroyers in general is that, you know, I believe I have all the skills for this maxed out. If we go to navigation, I have micro jump drive operation at 5. I also have command destroyers maxed out. So I think I have all the skills to make this short. But unfortunately, it only goes to 5.1, which I think rounds up to 6. So it kind of takes some of the luster off of those higher end skills unless it can get under 5, but I guess I'm not 100% sure, but it seems to be on the global server tick, but it is really fast though. You know, that's, even if that was 6 seconds, that's not bad. You gotta lock and scram somebody in that amount of time. Oof. Yeah, I'm getting real slick with it for sure. This ship certainly is a welcome upgrade. I also like the way it looks. It's like a arthropod, crustacean, kind of crab-like, maybe even spider-like. Very cool. Alright, so the time is now. A fresh vital core reservoir with the Outrider. Now, I'm going to try to Jedi mind trick this with the standard range, standard setup. Just gonna do a very basic spin here. We're just gonna warp into the depot. Standard range of 100. And go for a spin. That's it. See what happens. If I die, so be it. We're gonna watch the angular. It's very important, obviously. See if we can do this. So the angular is growing. Needs to be higher. Yeah, there you go. Needs to be at least over 1. There you go. Alright, look, the angular is actually getting decent. A little bit nerve-wracking to watch, though, because... I mean, this is actually very close to what it was before, admittedly. There are a few other considerations. The formula obviously isn't just angular. The signature radius also matters. And the signature radius should be higher on this than the Magus. Let's just check that. So honestly, really not that much of a difference. I thought this was going to be a lot hairier than it actually is. Now, to do the actual math here, I'm going to have to plug in these angulars with this sig radius, but if I had to guess, I would say that there was so much breathing room with the Magus that this ship is going to be essentially still invulnerable to these rats. So obviously I hope I don't eat my words on that, but again, I don't really care about the speed. I don't really care about anything. I don't care about any... The only thing I care about is this angular velocity and how big I am. And I'm still quite small. So I was wondering if I was going to have to put implants in. If I lost this, I was going to put maybe snakes in or something. Get a little speed up. Get the angular velocity higher. But it's looking like it actually is good just out of the box. So I kind of feel like letting this run for a while just to make me feel good about it before we start mining. Because what happens is, if this ship dies, all the prospects just like slow down, and then they just instantly die to the rats as well. So just want to be super confident in this. Again, I'm pretty sure the math tells me that we're not going to lose it, but let's just run it for a while. Alright, so the Outrider has the same bonus that Commander Destroyers do, which reduces the signature radius bloom of micro warp drives. And now that I've kind of studied how hit chances work, I'm almost wondering, is it possible to Jedi mind trick with a micro warp drive in front of these battleships? And I'm going to test it live here. I've not had a chance yet to test this. But the premise is, I ran the numbers in this little calculator, and it sure seems like the chance for the enemy to hit us is still significantly too low for it to ever really happen. Even in the Outrider, even with a micro warp drive, as long as I get a little closer and really crank up the angular velocity. So I'm just going to try it here. I have absolutely no idea how this is going to go. But I'm going to try a 75 km warp, 75 km radius as well. Here we go. It's highly possible I just get immediately smoked, right? I see the angular velocity is already nice and high. I wonder if it even gets lower. They're missing me. I'm actually super nervous right now. This angular velocity is nice and high. See how I needed to be 2.28? It's actually higher than that. Looks like it's 2.4. So if I'm not mistaken, I have finally unified Jedi mind tricking and spinning in terms of fits. I no longer have to, assuming this is all right, I no longer have to shuffle 10MN afterburners with 5 meganewton micro warp drives. I don't have to do it anymore. I can just use 5 meganewton micro warp drives for everything. This is pretty shocking. Really, my revolution here was like, holy crap, like, if I manage to tinker and get the signature radius low enough, looking at this calculator, I'm able to close the distance, get even closer, and they can't hit me. Now, I did actually spend a fair amount on this, but not a crazy amount. I bought a set of halos, high-grade halos, for the Outrider pilot. It's funny because I was originally thinking I was going to use like snakes or nomads, but it turns out halos like really chop down on the signature radius. They shrink it by a lot. That's kind of what led me to really kind of leaning into this. I was like, holy smokes, with a set of halos, I could really tank these just as good, if not possibly even better than the 10MN strategy. Definitely not better though. I know that looking at the numbers, but I'd say pretty much the only thing left that I would really like to do is I'd like to roll this module with mutoplasmids to make the signature radius bloom even smaller. Now, it doesn't really matter so much for the prospects over here because they, number one, don't really get shot as much by these. Like 99% of the shots go on the lead ship for whatever reason. But also their signature radius when bloomed is less than even the haloed Outrider. So you know that the math is still the same, if not better, more generous. So now see, here's something I was interested in. Look, I'm getting nuded. You see that? Oh, interesting. Oh, how interesting. I guess I'm gonna have to jet. Let's see if I die to that. Ooh, don't do it, 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 don't do it. Alright. So I just learned something. If you orbit too close, they're gonna get their newts off. So I'm gonna have to orbit at 100 km, no question. Which is kind of interesting. Maybe 80, 90 would do it as well, but if I can't do it at 100, this strategy doesn't work out. So by doing it at 100, the angular is probably gonna get chopped down a lot. Which, yeah, makes it a lot more likely, like over twice as likely to hit me. So, jeez. Let's try that real quick. Let me get some cap first. If I take the calculator out of scientific notation for a second, you can see the actual odds here. You know, this is the % chance of getting hit right now with this setup right now. So they have a very small % chance, like 1%, you know, 10th, yeah, so it's just no chance. 314, interesting. The hourly chance, though, is significantly higher. Why is the hourly chance so much higher? Because every 5 seconds I'm getting hit with 4 lasers. Yeah? And what that means is that hourly they get 2,880 shots, so the chance to get shot once per hour goes way up. But it's still infinitesimal, which is what we need it to be. Yeah, so we upgraded the micro warp drive on the Outrider to have lower signature radius, so there's really not a whole lot else that we can really upgrade for the labor wing of Jolly Ranchers, except for even, the scoops themselves. Now, this is a tremendously expensive endeavor, but we have a little bit of ISK floating around, and this is kind of a cool way to spend it. So basically, let's just look at this real quick. I think this is terribly interesting. I am a big fan of ARPGs and the way the itemization works in there with the affixes. This is Eve's kind of like silly little version of it. Now, I've talked about mutaplasmids before. We've used them on PvP ships, but nothing quite like this. So I'm thinking about rolling syndicate scoops with unstable mutaplasmids, and if you look at the scoops themselves, the mutaplasmids affect a lot of properties. It looks like 8 different properties. However, only 2 of them matter for me. Now, only 2 of them matter. One of them has a slight significance, and the others are completely irrelevant for me. The activation cost, not important. They're plenty cap stable. Activation time, that's very relevant. That's just more scoops, right? CPU usage, not relevant at all. Mining amount, very relevant. Same thing as cycle timer. Optimal range is the thing that's sort of possibly relevant. If it's rolled too low, it could be a problem. But I actually don't think it'll be an issue for most use cases, even if it's bad. Power grid, residue. We don't have to worry about probability or volume multiplier of residue because they're both 0. So modifying it up or down will not affect it. So we're pretty much left with just 2 statistics that matter. The activation time and mining amount. Now, I'm no mutaplasmid expert, but if this is activation time and this is mining amount, the way I understand it is that you have the same probability of rolling the lowest roll possible, regardless of what that roll is. So, for example, this would be the same chance, -10 or +30, and this would be the same chance, -10 and -15, right? This should be +10, excuse me. So basically what I'm trying to say is that if we wanted to somehow get both of these to be really high, we would easily be able to figure that math out, depending on how high we want them. So for example, if we just went with a simple 20 here, 1 in 20 chance of hitting this roll, which would be -10. We also would have a 1 in 20 chance of this as well. So it'd be 45 divided by 2. We'll just say 28 here. So to get -10 and then 28 here, it would be 20 times 20, 1 in 400. Okay? We only have 100 scoops. And we need a lot of them. So we're not actually going to shoot for that high of a percentile. We're going to shoot for something more in the middle here. Let's say, for example, instead of 1 in 20, you wanted to go for the 4th percentile, quarter percentile. You just wanted this roll right here, right? You only really want this. You're going to throw out everything that's not in both of these. Well, this is a lot easier. This is just 1 in 16, right? 4 times 4. This is kind of the best way to look at this. And it's really easy with these syndicate scoops because, again, only 2 things really matter. So what I'm kind of expecting here is to roll these 100 scoops and to get a handful of quarter percentiles and then a few that are just basic upgrades. I'm not really looking to hit jackpot stuff here. I'm looking to get like a nice baseline of slightly upgraded syndicate scoops and then maybe upgrade them a la carte later over time from the market. There's not a whole lot of science here. It's just statistics, which I'm not very good at in the first place, but I am going to roll these now, and we're going to see what we get. With a little bit of luck, maybe we'll get a couple bangers. But again, we're just looking for one thing, and that is to increase the lowest... We want to speed up the slowest prospect. So if we have 3 prospects with perfect scoops, well, the fourth one needs to have good scoops, because that's the only one that matters to me, because the other ones are going to fill up before him, right? So we're really trying to improve, we're trying to increase or raise the floor instead of the ceiling more than anything else. So anyway, let's roll these here in a second. All right, it is time. We are going to roll 100 Syndicate Gas Cloud Scoops now. Should probably set your expectations pretty low, because probably not going to get a godly one, but might get a couple good ones. So here we go. Gonna click through this, and when I'm all done, we'll look at it. Oh my god. My second one, I get a nice roll on. Wow. Wait. I just got another good roll on the third one. Wait. Should I just stop now? This is the part where if this was like a gambling thing, I would just stop now and laugh. But I just want to do it just to have a selection, so let's keep going. Oh my... Wait. What's happening? I've rolled 4 and I've gotten 3 good ones so far. What is happening? Here it is, the results of the rolling, and I'm not really sure why or how, but it just wildly exceeded my expectations as to what I got out of it. Just to put this in context, a Syndicate Scoop harvests without boosts at 2/3 of an M3 a second, right? So it's 0.66 repeating, right? That's its base harvest is M3 per second, right? So when we roll these, we're adjusting the duration, reducing it, increasing the M3 per second. We're also increasing the amounts, which increases the M3 a second. So what happens is you have websites that are clever and they can kind of do the math for you, like Mutamarket. And so by combining the duration and the amount modifiers, they can come up with a pseudo stat called mining speed. Basically, this just tells you the actual mining speed of the module, as if you'd see in game by hovering it. And turns out the best one we got, we have 2.92 M3Ss. This is a massive increase because it gets the bonuses and blooms out like it would otherwise. This is crazy. When I actually put this on and apply boost to it, it's gonna blow my absolutely tiny brain. But what's better than these 2 extremely well rolled ones is that, look at this. We have like 20 really good rolled ones that go from a 0.66 to a 0.8 or higher. And they're all usable. Even if we lose a set, we could still have another set ready to rock. It just won't be quite as good. So in essence, I've kind of like rolled a really godly set of syndicates for myself, in my opinion, by my standards. I've also rolled a backup set that's not as good, but it'll do. I mean, if I lose a set, I'm not going to want to roll more, right? I also just got a ton of extra syndicates down here that I could maybe sell on the cheap to like gas miners that I meet. You know, this type of stuff. So, holy smokes. Next thing I'm going to do is go get the prospects and equip these absolute insane ones. You may be asking yourself, if you've never used a website like this, like how do you actually find the modules in here? What, do you just have to like hunt and pack? Well, no, the website tells you the position in the container. So it's the 15th position, right? So if this is 10 across, we know that this is the godly one right here. Look at that. See that? Super cool. Anyway, I'm gonna go equip these, see what they look like on the actual prospects, and get a final kind of tally of what my gas M3 per second is, just kind of to celebrate this new era of gas harvesting. Jeez, I cannot believe these rolls. Yes. Well, after evaluating the scoop upgrades, it's been incredible. I am sort of in shock. From roughly 28 cubic meters a second, we've upgraded to over 37. We've now gone from 13 to 37 cubic meters a second in this episode. Almost a 300% increase. I really didn't expect this to be possible, because how could one see such a viable patch for gas miners? But at this point, it almost seems silly how fast these labor characters can clear clouds. We can full clear some perimeter sites in 8 minutes flat, and even vital core reservoirs, which once took us damn near all day, take us less than 2 hours now. To say this is game-changing would be an understatement, although it remains to be seen what this massive increase in gas intake has in store for the gas economy. The Jolly Ranchers Corporation has 3 wings. The third of these wings is the Specialist Wing. This squadron of characters is responsible for managing the corporation and its various operations in all sectors. In the third act, we're going to learn how these specialist characters create and manage a Tech 3 manufacturing business from scratch. From sourcing materials and hauling to scanning and hacking, from market PvP to manufacturing efficiency, the specialist's goal is obvious: to make as much ISK as possible without taking financial loss. The characters that make up the specialist wing are in highly specialized ships belonging to specific archetypes. In this episode, we'll spend ample time discussing the business itself, trade routes, and the various ships and strategies we've chosen. I hope you enjoy watching the growth. We're here at the Tatara, which is where the gas is, which is where the reactions take place in Alamake. And if we go to the materials tab, this is where I keep my gas and fuel blocks and minerals, which are the materials you need to react. This is where I keep them. But every time we do this, we basically just turn our labor into valuation of the business. Now, what does valuation of the business mean? Well, first of all, let me decompress this stuff. And when you decompress gas, you do lose 5% of it with max skills. So we did lose a little bit of value there, but we'll stack it all up with the other stuff. We're going to copy this, literally Control C after grabbing these, and let's pull it into our spreadsheet. So if we go over to our spreadsheet here and add it in, you're going to see these values go from red here and yellow all the way up to much flusher numbers. And I have the spreadsheet set up so that the nicer the color, the more close we are to what we need. So a nice stock of gas here. We have a few we need a bit more of, right? But these are all low class gases. You can also see that we're doing fine on fuel blocks and we're doing all right with minerals. So, but we talked about the term valuation. What does that mean? How do I take labor and turn it into valuation? Well, that's where we kind of look at the dashboard here, and we can kind of see all of the different systems involved in this industry and break them into accounts and kind of keep track of sales for fun. And in here is what I consider the valuation. Now, if you're a business person in real life, this is probably boring and silly, but for the roleplay businessman that I am, this is how I want to keep track of it. It's colorful, it's fun. I like to watch the number goes up. And you can see we've already put a lot of work into it. This value is much higher than it's ever been. We've never had so much ISK ever. So how does it get so high? Well, a lot of gas mining, right? A lot of selling stuff. You can see here we have 20 billion worth of reaction materials sitting here in the Tatara. I have 31, probably more than that, materials in the Sotia we're going to go to next. Research materials, products, equipment, stuff I use to actually do this, and then orders, stuff I have listed in the market. I also keep track of how many actual ships I sell. It's super fun. So the goal is to increase this valuation and just kind of ball out. But all these spreadsheets kind of keep track of things, right? So let's go over to the Sotio and we'll kind of keep looking at what it takes to make this business kind of flourish. All right, so now we're here in the Sotio, which is like the factory instead of the reaction place, the Tatara. And you'll see we have the same actual corporate hangars here, which is used for different purposes. The material tab over here is used for hybrid tech components and hybrid polymers. These are the reaction products. So we pull up on our spreadsheet and go to materials. Let's update this. You can see it goes up a bit because we added some reactions down here. So you can tell on this spreadsheet, it's telling us we need to make some more neurovisuals. We're running low on some of this salvage. And we also need to do some reacting to catch back up to the values that I kind of want to hold, right? Furthermore, we have this research tab, and this is kind of where we make the blueprints. The blueprints come from these ancient relics. In the last episode, you saw us actually go through this. But now I kind of have a much greater grasp over how it works and how to do it efficiently. We use the most expensive ancient relics, the intact ones, because they give blueprints that have a ton of runs. So you only have to make 1 or 2 blueprints and you have virtually unlimited stock, right? The data cores are part of the blueprint process. It's good to have a nice stash. And then the decryptors are for getting more runs and increasing the probability. We actually keep track of this tab too. If we copy this and go over to the research tab, this keeps track of the overall value in here. We also throw the reaction formulas in here to keep track of them as well. So a couple billion in the research over here. Now the products tab is where we keep all the ships and subsystems. We do have all 48 subsystems in decent numbers. The subsystems alone are 42 billion, right? And the ships, we have 12 billion. We only have about 10 of each ships, but we also keep track of this tab, right? If we go back to the spreadsheet and go to the products tab and paste this in, it should be up to date though. You can see the numbers here, the colors kind of represents what I need to maybe make more of. Blue means probably have more than enough, dude. And green means it's okay for now. Yellow means let's start making some, and red means holy smokes, you're about to run out. So that's almost it. Now the blueprints tab is where we keep the hybrid tech component blueprints. We don't really keep track of the value of these. And then the blueprints tabs, these are what we make from the ancient relics. So you can see we have a lot of ship blueprints and really not any subsystem blueprints. And the reason for that is when we run out of one of these, we make a blueprint on demand and then we make more of these. So we don't actually hold on to the subsystem blueprints. But I'm still working through all these ship blueprints. Eventually we'll get to that point with these as well, but I simply haven't used them all. I don't sell enough ships, right? But this business is pretty nuts. You can see like the gameplay loop is pretty charming. Like we go out with the caravan and we sort of just get billions and billions and billions worth of fullerenes. We bring them back and we stash them in here and then we react them and carry them over here, put them down here. We buy our own, we buy salvage from the market. Since I don't really rat, right? Still don't rat, just not a fan of it. Maybe that will change one day. But since we don't rat, yeah, we get salvage from the market. Last episode, we were trying to get our own salvage. What a nightmare. What a nightmare for a non-ratter. And then we just make hybrid tech components and these get turned into ships. So it's kind of how this goes. We keep track of other things, but this is kind of the gameplay loop. And I got to say, it's extremely entertaining. So this is a pretty average map for me. And while there's not a whole lot of gas available in these few systems I've scanned down, there are a few sites in this C3. But I just kind of wanted to quickly point out that your eyes do not fail you. We are using a different mapper. This is called Wanderer. And the idea is, as awesome as Pathfinder is, it's no longer in development and probably won't receive any actual design changes, just a couple patches from the community. What Wanderer is doing is starting from scratch and doing ongoing developing. So it's been really cool to watch it kind of grow a little bit. But I just like the application. It's quite nice. It's very colorful. It certainly looks less professional than Pathfinder, but in this sense, I almost prefer it. There are features in here that are excellent. Most of Pathfinder's features are here. But what's really attractive about this is this blip feature here. So whenever you add a wormhole and you haven't actually gone through it, you get this little blip underneath the system. And that means that is an unsplashed hole. So for example, in this C4 I'm in right now, 001, 302. You see it has a null 6 and a 5 static, and you can see that we have the 5 and the 6 already splashed. We've been in them. So it's telling us that we have a nullsec static that we haven't checked. So that's really cool. Once you go through this chain, you can start to quickly see potentially where these could go if you want to. And so what that lets you do is visually kind of just look up and down the chain and see like, oh, okay, you know, we have a 3 here. We can go through the 3, maybe try to find a high-sec exit, that kind of thing. So it's a really nice little visual feature. But really, it's just the ongoing development. I definitely want to get on board with that. So even if I didn't like it, I'd probably give it a chance. But so right now, I sell goods out of the east, primarily. In Amamake, next door in Rennes, up the way in Heck, and down the alley in Turner. I only sell subsystems here. But I sell ships in the other 3 locations as well. As far as market sales, it's just these 4 locations. But I want to expand my operations. Now, I don't think I'm really able to build enough ships right now to sell them in all these locations and still be able to stock up on them. So what I'd like to do is to take my subsystems and expand them to these 4 markets to try to generate more income. So the 4 markets I've identified are Abazin, Amar, Dodixie, and Villiers. Villiers. That's a French one right there. And so Amar is quite close, and so is Dodixie actually to us. They're not that far at all. Let's check this out. Let's look up Amar. Should be 7 jumps, right? 8 jumps. And if we look up Dodixie, not much more, even fewer actually. So 7. So these are actually very close to me right now. But Abazin is quite a bit further, and Villiers is much, much further. So what I'm thinking about doing is to stock them, it's not bad. We just have to make 1 trip out and we can seed a bunch of subsystems. But to refresh the prices, right, we have to actually get our trader out here. Now getting to Abazin, not a problem. We have a jump clone in Jeddah. We can just take a couple jumps down to reset the prices once a week or whatever. Amar and Dodixie, we could travel in a shuttle. Villiers, I'm not sure what to do yet. I'm going to figure out a way to refresh these prices. Otherwise, we might just leave the subsystems up there and see if there's any competition. One thing I'll note about competition is there's a lot of it in Amamake and Rennes. Very little in Heck, and 0 in Turner, which kind of makes sense. I'm actually a little surprised by the Heck bit. Not too sure why there's so much competition in Amamake now, but it's okay. We're going to spread out and collect a lot of money from a lot of different people in a lot of different regions. So my challenge is to get some subsystems out to the north and the west and even the central. I mean, all over the place, really. So once I get them out there, we'll list them with the trader and we'll continue to look for customers. All right, well, did a bit of mapping here. And if we look at Wanderer, this is our home system. You'll see the J code. The C6 static is end of life, so I didn't really feel like exploring that. We checked the nullsec exit just in case I got lucky. It goes to Fountain, and not very convenient. From there, I noticed I had a 5 and a 4, so I went into the 5 first, and I just started scanning it down. There were 2 4s inside of the 5. Both of them having a C3 and a C5 set of statics, which is not bad. These C3s would almost definitely get us, you know, to low sec. Maybe they'd be null sec. It's pretty rare. Or even possibly right to high sec, right? But before we went into these and checked these C3s to see where they potentially would lead us, we went back to the main hole and checked out the C4. And would you know it? It's a shattered system with 27 signatures in it. So the low sec static in the C4 goes directly to Majamar. I've never seen this system before, but it's in Derelict. It's actually not far at all from Amamake. 14 jumps, barely touches low sec. So I'm going to transport the gas through Majamar and bring it to Amamake up here, and we'll pull the guys back. The only thing that I noticed while building this little map was that in this C4 shattered system, with all these signatures, just look at the amount of gas, right? I'm just going to read it because holy smokes. Token, minor, bountiful, vast, sizable, minor, vast, minor. The problem with small gas is you have to keep scanning new systems to find it, and it's so little per site. If you find an instrumental core, like you can just take it, it's a ton of 320, but these all have such small amounts of them. You have to find a lot at once. So this is pretty much what you're looking for. So pretty interesting. When we get this gas to Amamake, we'll kind of talk about how that trip went, and we'll come back and get the rest of this gas and prepare for another trip. Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen a ghost site, and there's really a good reason for that. It's not like I'm just unlucky. Sure, luck is a huge factor, but yeah, I just haven't done as much scanning as normal. I've kind of done efficient maps, just finding some gas and an exit and go. Not these huge sprawling maps I used to do, but... So I'm sending Satorigu in here, and this is kind of like my baby budding hacker. The skills are really not there yet, so instead of the traditional blitz, which I don't think I'll be able to pull off, I'm just going to cherry pick and see if there's a blueprint. If there is, we'll take it, and if not, we'll just go for the highest can or two. Wow, this is a hard hack. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave. That's kind of a fail. And the rats are here really quick. Yeah, so not what I was hoping. I was hoping to steal a can and get out. But because the cherry pick takes so long, we wasted like 10-20 seconds slow boating to it, we didn't even get the single can. That's awesome. Yeah, I desperately need to get this character up to speed so that we don't have to waste ghost sites like that. That feels really bad, but oh well. So I did the run around town and managed to list my subsystems at a lot more than just the east. One thing I'll note is that I didn't actually put it in Villiers. I actually put it in Orvol. This is in Highsack, right nearby. Looks like we're going to get more traffic there, so... at this point in time, all of these systems have a full set of subsystems for sale at them. So that's 48 times 8. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch the orders history, right? And we're going to copy these into our spreadsheet. And whenever one of these sells, we're going to note it down and then take one of these things. For example, let's go projectile. We've sold one of these, right? I can't type. So we would just take one of these and then drag it into the Amar folder. And then we know to restock that when we go to Amar next, right? We don't even have to think about it. We can front load what needs to be replaced. So that's going to be the gameplay loop here. That's going to keep all the subsystems stocked. Now, as far as, I guess, adjusting the price, that's going to be on me to kind of fly around. Luckily, you can adjust the price remotely when you're in region with the right skills. So it's really not that bad with a jump clone or two. It doesn't take that long, especially when there's not a lot of competition. You can just leave it up. So yeah, definitely a lot more coverage here. And the next step would be to see if we can find a way to get ships to these places as well to kind of supplement the subsystem market. So this is pretty special, actually. A connection to a C13 just opened up, an A009 in the system I'm at right now. 001302, the class 4 shatter we've been chilling at, so yeah. You know, I love this system I'm in so much, but it is surely tempting to like move into a C13 right now randomly. I feel like it's going to be a net negative if I move in here, logistics wise, and I'm not going to get a whole lot for it, but I absolutely want to see what's in here. So it has a class 1, a null, class 1 and a null exit. Here's the static right here. Excuse me, my sig box is too big. So here it is. It's a class 1 with a null. Wow. So kind of an interesting wormhole. It's not gonna cut the mustard for me right now, but I'm willing to bet there's some decent signatures in here. So all 17 of them. So usually some core gas in here as well. I'm gonna scan this down and see what we got. Definitely not moving in here though. What constellation is this? Okay, so we can also tell by the sites. Fortification Frontier. Yeah, this is a good one. This is one with good ratting. Interesting. All right, well, let's take a quick scan, yeah? Alright, got the data analyzer, the explosive hard, shield amp, ready to rock. I'm in a black hole, which means cornering is definitely a lot slower to do. So I am going to go can to can, but there's a chance I will take longer to get from can to can. Either way, let's go. They've changed these with a patch recently that's made them easier. Easier as in the rats take longer to come, so... let's just kind of take our time here. I'll just approach. If they come, I'm just going to burn off. If anybody comes, I'll burn off. Here we go. Misclicked. Already got a nice load there. Let's try this one. Oops, look at that. I burned too far away. Alright, let's try this again. So I'll stop a little faster. That's funny. Let's try this again, shall we? Guarantee there's a high grade ascendancy in there. Omega. Guaranteed. There it is. Beautiful. So here's my plan. I'm just gonna double click and burn away from these things. I don't think they can hit me. Yeah. They're really slow to actually react. So you can just burn away. Not exactly the prettiest of ghost sites there. The black hole really did screw me up. But I can't complain. Got 2 valuable parts from it. Yeah, I guess I didn't expect to overshoot the can. I just expected to take longer to turn. Sheesh. It's been a while since we've looked at the industry side of things, and definitely quite a lot of progress has been made. So many more subsystems sold, so many more ships sold. The valuation's getting awfully high. Obviously, the short-term goal here is 200 bill, but I have aspirations of reaching 1 trillion here. So one thing I'm doing differently is I have actually less of a stockpile than I once did. Specifically, the materials tab here used to be almost double what it is now. And I realized that just having so many of these was kind of pointless. Sure, I could front load the order, but then I'd spend forever rebuilding it. I almost like to do it the other way around now, which is I figure out what I want to build, enter it up here, and then I kind of work away at getting the materials for it, and finally we build it. So I've kind of come full circle on how I like to do this, right? Now, originally I was selling in many locations. I was selling, obviously, in Amamake. If we pull that up. I was selling in Amamake. I was selling next door in Rennes, which is right here. I also experimented with selling in Huala. Somewhere out here in the Bleaklands. I experimented with selling in Turner and even Orville. Orville. All the way up here. And really what I found was that it's just not worth selling at these kind of non-trade hub places. I got a couple of sales here and there, which I thought was interesting, but it's just kind of not worth the time to even stock them and list them. Nobody's really looking for advanced products in those locations. So what I do now is I have these locations that I'm selling from. So there's 4 locations, right? Amardo, Dixie, Heck, and Renz. I do not sell in Jeddah, and I no longer sell in Amamake. I noticed that the number of sales in Amamake are pretty low. If you give them a good discount, they'll buy all day here, but I'm kind of just past the point of calculating discounts. So Renz, Heck, Dodixie, and Amar. Those are the 4 locations I sell at, and you can tell Amar is a primo trade hub. Dodixie, tertiary, and Heck and Renz are kind of small. So to do this, I actually manage the sales in Renz with the industry character, this guy, the person that stays in Amamake. This is important because I don't have to really go far. I can just dip over to Renz, grab some stuff, set up some orders, and come back to Amamake where my factory is at. But for Amardo, Dixie, and Heck, it's a bit of a travel to get out there, right? It's 7-8 jumps in any one direction involving low sec, so a little bit of a risk. To update the prices, I actually go on this character, my trader. And I'll go from Heck, update the prices, set destination Dodixie, fly over to Dodixie, set the prices, and then jump clone to Amar. Set the prices there. The next day I'll come back, set the prices in Amar, jump clone to Dodixie, and then fly back to Heck, right? You can do this pretty much every day, but I don't hit it every day on the dot. If I'm going to sit somewhere, I prefer to sit in Amar since there's so many more sales there, but today we're sitting in Heck, so this is kind of how it goes. Now, most of the sales I do get are in Amar, and it's of subsystems, and we can kind of take a look at this. If we look at the orders tab here, you can see I actually keep track of all the orders, right? So this is from the start. You can see I sold in Amamake and Heck, Amamake, Renz, Amamake, Heck, right? And then we finally get into Dodixie and Amar. And once I start selling in Amar, you'll notice that Amar kind of takes over. There's just a lot of yellow here. So Amar is a big part of my ability to sell things off. So it's not the only place I list things, but it is the most competitive, and I can get good prices there and sell a lot of product very quickly. Now, as for the actual process of updating the market orders, well, it's not glamorous. You're quite literally clicking on them and finding your own products in blue and just bumping the price down. You can match the price to the lowest, and it will actually put yours on top, but you actually get really fast at this over time. You just have to be kind of careful to not make a mistake, because if you do, right, see this? Kind of just fumbling here, trying to get the price right. If you make a mistake, you have to wait 5 minutes and do it right. So you can see my goal is to really just set it to be the lowest price in Heck. Right? So I'd go through and do this for all 48 subsystems too. And you can see that there's a couple that are lower than me already. So we just go through and bump all those up. One thing I do is I buy products in Renz. So if you actually go to, let's see here, the market out here in Renz and go to the buy orders tab, you can see I have buy orders set up for every type of gas, and I'm pretty on the ball with these. I'm usually the main person buying here in Renz, it seems. I try to buy these, and this is actually a good source of income. If we buy gas cheaper, it's just pure money in our pocket. So also try to buy some NVIMs out here, but not many people sell them. So pretty much the last piece of this puzzle is how do we get the subsystems and ships from Amamake to Amar, Dodixie, and Hex. So for example, if we right click on Amar from here and set it to shorter, you'll see we actually do go through low sec. If we go Dodixie, same thing, couple low sec systems, and finally if we set it to Heck, it wants us to go all the way through low sec. Funny thing about Heck is if you set it to safer, it's the same amount of jumps through high sec, right? So Heck is really not that hard for us to get to. But Dodixie and Amar do require some low sec travel. Now, I can obviously take the blockade runners out there. Super safe, almost impossible to get caught. But quite frankly, lately I've just been taking the DST, kind of unscouted. This is all faction warfare. It's kind of low key. There's really never anybody camping the gates properly, especially not from here to Amar or Dodixie. Occasionally the Ossiger gate is camped, but we're not even taking that, so yeah, I pretty much just load up some ships in the DST and take a trip out and dump them and give them to the trader, and he lists them. So nice little mini game here. I've been really enjoying it. I feel like I'm selling a metric load of subsystems on the regular, but it's been really enjoyable. You know, when I run out, I come over here and invent some, so yeah, I guess the next update, hopefully we'll cross that 200 billion-isk threshold. So we have certainly seen Silent Battlegrounds before, but now that we can sort of use the ancient relics found within to create ships and subsystems, this site hits completely differently to me. It really is a huge injection of ancient relics. Now, I guess the value is not crazy. A couple 100 mil tops in these sites usually. But it is very exciting to just get a fresh batch of, you know, organic ancient relics. Granted, the more jaded I get to exploration, the less I like having to click so much all at once. However, it's no big deal. Something I've been doing for these Silent Battlegrounds when I see them is trying to manage the volume more. So here I just have a depot, and I'm just dropping everything in the depot. But these relics are really heavy, especially the hull ones. So it's pretty important to not just expect to show up to a Silent Battleground and cherry pick one item and leave. You should have a plan to get the loot out. So I just wanted to show kind of what the whole site looked like, sped up. I think that's a pretty neat perspective. There's a lot of hacking, and you kind of have to come up with a system, as we've covered in previous episodes, for making sure you don't double back on them all. You can broadcast, you can double click them to mark them gray. I just go from right to left and kind of know what I've done. Kind of a feel thing for me. It's been a little bit of time since I've checked in and kind of showed off the progress with the business, so I kind of want to do that now. If we take a quick look at the spreadsheet, go to the dashboard, you can see we're up to almost $250 billion-isk in valuation. Now, granted, a lot of that is tied up in stuff. I have 25 bill worth of equipment now, right? A lot of the accounts are completely flush. I have very little liquid, which you'd expect to have more for this style of business. But I'm doing just fine keeping it around there. But yeah, the money's going higher, and I'm still not really keeping track of profits, but I'm just doing a lot of business all over the place. You can see the subsystem count is ridiculous. So I've focused pretty heavily on subsystems so far. And I'm going to start moving into destroyers and cruisers. And that segues beautifully into the next point I want to make, is that there was a patch that buffed the Confessor and the Sveeple. And the price of these ships was astronomical for a short period of time, and it may still be. You see the Confessor going for 90 mil in heck. The Sveeple going for 98 mil. That's actually a bit low. Some of these trade hubs still have these things at 100, 110, 120 million, which is almost double the price. So once I kind of realized that these things were going for so much, I kind of shifted gears and I made about 50 Confessors and 30 Sveeples or something like that. And I've been kind of selling them off all over the place. I've also been looking for buy orders to just sell them to right away. So that's been a bit of a windfall, and definitely part of the reason why the number goes up. I've also been scooping a lot of gas. It's almost trivial at this point, I think, to report on it. But yeah, I'm hitting clouds all day long. Just scooped up another Vital yesterday. Super fun, very lucrative, very chill, right? I have not gotten to upgrading my prospect pilots yet, but it is definitely on the to-do list. One thing I did do, though, which is terribly exciting and very expensive, and I never thought I'd be doing this. I actually never thought I'd be doing this, this playthrough. But on my hauler character, I've actually gone ahead and purchased high-grade ascendancies, which is fantastic. This is the very blueprint right here that I've found a handful of times that's given us just massive windfalls of ISK right when we needed it most. So I've kind of come full circle. Now I'm using this. And this is like stupidly exciting for me to use ascendancies because if you don't know what they do, they increase your warp speed, right? And this character is industry and hauling. So warp speed is very relevant for hauling. If we switch over to this Pro Raider I have fit up and take a quick look at it, it's got 3 inertials, Tech 2 inertials, and then a high-grade hyperspatial accelerator. This blockade runner warps at 20.5 AU per second and has a sub 3 second online with a nullifier and no warp core. So this ship warps faster than leopards, cheetahs, right? Obviously it's with the ascendancies, but this ship goes so freakishly fast. Most of the time when you're traveling with this ship at this point, it's just waiting to get through the gate itself, right? So this is my ship I bring to Jeddah to get neurovisual input matrices and to do small sales. It doesn't have much cargo room, however, could always strap some cargoes on it and sacrifice some align time. But perhaps even more exciting than this kind of hyperspatialed out blockade runner is the DST. Now the DST is probably one of our most used ships at this point. I don't use capital stuff to move my industry products. I just use this, right? So Ascendancy's kind of transformed this ship into some absolute insane, just efficient monster. Now, just a standard Tech 2 fit DST is already extremely good. Micro cloak trick it, right? But this is on another level. We have Ascendancies, we have triple tier 3 hyperspatials on here and some faction inertials to push the micro cloak trick super consistent. Also a faction cloak on here. So we've splurged a lot on this character. But what do I have to show for that? A 10, almost 11 astronomical units per second warp speed deep space transport. This thing warps so fast. You micro cloak trick it, come out of cloak, and boom, you're at the outgate. It's so incredibly fun to use and valuable. I don't think I'd spend the ISK on these implants and these upgrades unless I was doing business with it, which I am. I traveled to Dodixie, Hek, Amar from here, and all of those require low sec, right? 7-8 jumps a pop. The faster I go, the safer it is, the more I get done. It's just awesome. I'm just so happy to actually be running Ascendancies on this guy, right? So this is a super interesting scenario I just stumbled upon. I'm not sure I've ever seen it this blatant before. But if we take a look at the signatures in here, you'll see, you know, just relic site, combat site, gas site, and it's just, how many signatures is this? Like 20 signatures, it's crazy. But there's only 3 wormholes in here, all 3 statics. And I'm pretty sure what happened is these are all Vestal. They're all completely locked off. The reason I think that is because if anybody came in here whatsoever, these sites would be gone. So I noticed the nullsec being Vestal yesterday, but it turns out no wandering wormholes in here. I want to say the number of sites has like dissuaded wanderings from spawning even. I'm going to do all these relic sites here and clear this down and probably watch more wormholes spawn in the system and break these Vestals with people coming in and scanning. Pretty cool though. So I suppose now would be a good time to talk about the market conditions. Really, I can't sit here and say that I know exactly what's going on. Not really an economist here. But the price of the most valuable piece of salvage has gone up a lot. Neurovisual input matrices have gone up almost by a factor of 2. And since that is kind of the bulk of the cost of some of these items, the price of ships has also almost gone up by 2. Now, this is the market that I'm just kind of involved in exclusively, so this is extremely impactful on me. What kind of happened, and this is a bit of a windfall, I might say, is that I had all the resources kind of bought. Now, I didn't have a huge stock of NVIMs, but I had all these ships and products kind of lined up, ready to rock. And when the price goes up, when I have the product sitting in my warehouse, it's kind of just like free cash, if you want to look at it that way. Yeah, I can't really wrap my head around if this price is permanent or not. You can see Tech 3 destroyers are almost twice, in many instances, twice what they actually were. Now I'm at Dodixie. Amar is a bit more reasonable. A lot of them are back down closer to 100 million. I don't really go to Jeddah too much anymore. Not sure what it's like over there, but I have just been falling head over heels into ISK since this NVIM change, and I really can't wait to figure out what the heck happened. Is this like a cartel activity from high-class J-spacers? Do they really have that level of control over this stuff? I don't know, but it benefits me, and I'm extremely excited and skeptical of it, so gonna keep listing this stuff and see what the prices are, but seems like it's all gravy in my pocket. Alright, that's another silent battleground in our current home system. Insane. So even though these sites are pretty tedious to do and they don't really pay that much, they are really rare, and that makes them cool. I guess I just kind of wish they had like a lottery drop, or they were faster, or they dropped more or something, but maybe that's just pushing the envelope here. It does seem a little bit low though for such a rare spawn, a shattered only spawn, to drop like 200 mil or so, but there it is. Scanning here. Well, let's get Satorigu here and see if we can get some ancient relics, yeah? The average 200 mil worth of ancient relics. Skipped out on pretty much all the data. We'll take it. Pretty much all these can be made into blueprints that I can actually express, which is nice. Feels good. It's been a while since we've looked at the business and kind of done an update as to how it's going. I certainly have been continuing to sell things. You see the subsystem count is at 6,500 now. The valuation keeps going up, but a few interesting things to talk about even. First of all, this valuation got absolutely and utterly inflated during the great NVIM crunch. So when an event came out that was usable by Tech 3 destroyers, the price of everything shot up like crazy. The J-Space Ratters realized that the neurovisual input matrices were on high demand, so they were speculating and holding back, and the price almost doubled. Long story short, a lot of the growth I feel I experienced in terms of valuation was on the back end, the actual products and stuff that I have available for the market going up in price that had nothing to do with me. So when that eventually crashed, when that kind of bubble popped, I was left in a situation where my valuation dropped a lot, by like 50 billion. And so it made me realize that this is really just not a good way to look at it. This is kind of like the sexy way to look at how to run the business and to see kind of how it's going, but this is not it. The valuation of the combination of your accounts and assets, it's just too easily it fluctuates. It's too easily changed. It's not really a good way to look at the progress. So really, the way to look at the progress for me might actually be more along the lines of revenue. Revenue kind of shows off what we've managed to do in the game. This could go up or down, and we haven't done a thing. It's really kind of we'd have to basically peg this valuation to specific items in the Tech 3 product lineup to get a sense for what this actually is, and it's just not worth it. I mean, we have things that aren't even related to Tech 3 in here: extractors, injectors, ISK, equipment, right? But with all that said, what am I going to do? Well, first of all, I've stopped buying gas from just random capsuleers and people in the community, people around doing gas. I've stopped buying from them directly, which means that these gas stockpiles are only really going to go up when I personally scoop the gas down, or if I fulfill a buy order. So I do have buy orders set back up, and they're dirt cheap, so they're not going to get filled too often. But this is going to go up in a trickle now instead of a torrent. And so what that means is I'm going to be building fewer things. However, I'm going to focus on building the ships instead of the subsystems now. The reason for this is super simple. The subsystems are incredibly tedious to build, transport, list, and update. There are 48 of them. And probably 30 of those get heavy use. So it's incredibly tedious, and I think I'm just going to take a step back from that. Instead, I'm going to work on selling cruisers and destroyers. And I'm going to build these depending on where I see gaps in the market and just try to fill them up that way. Now, as fun as this has been to kind of create a business and not worry so much about profits, you know, everything gets boring after a while when you just spam it. And so this is getting a little boring for me. You can kind of sense that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it back into my gas gameplay loops and lean heavier back into that instead of the marketing and industry. So basically, since we're only going to be building ships and we're going to be collecting our own materials, this industry is going to take a back seat to the more active gameplay for the foreseeable future. And this is just how I play EVE. I just like to rotate around and do different things. But I think it's just worth saying that really good job. We've managed to build a lot of ships, sell them to a lot of players. We've sold tons of discounted ships. We've bought gas from people that play this game at really good prices to make their lives better. Really great experiment. The only problem is now I have 300 billion ISK, and I have no idea what to do with that. So even though I'm going to continue to do indie, I don't know why I'm doing it. I don't know what the point of this ISK is. I just know that this is a fun project and I like creating machines like this. So yeah, what I do next with this business is going to be largely dictated by my interests. So I think I'm just going to build some ships and maybe do some direct sales to people since I like that. And we'll shift it over to tracking revenue instead of value. I think this is the future for this spreadsheet. The Jolly Ranchers Corporation has 3 wings, and we've seen them all in action. Act 4 is going to talk about errant thoughts as they relate to the previous 3 acts, and also just other things that pop into my mind. I really do love this game. I think it's incredible that it's so deep, so wide, so many mechanics to kind of just browse through, no real true centralized source of knowledge. I just like evaluating the game, doing little experiments, seeing what happens, writing my thoughts down, and the purpose of this act is to celebrate that line of thinking, just to enjoy the game and its various mechanics and try to use them to get some type of advantage. So I hope you learned something from Act 4 because, shoot, I learned a lot. The Odysseus is a ship custom built for nomads. How cool is that? During the closing moments of Act 1, we caught a glimpse of my early fumblings with the ship, but we didn't actually talk about the ship itself. Now, however, we're going to thoroughly discuss it. When I first saw the bonuses on the Odysseus, I was pretty blown away. Although it was bound to be expensive and probably too well-rounded to slot into our lineup, the desire to use it for its aesthetic value alone is undeniable. But what if the ship was more than just pretty? What if the Odysseus actually belonged in our lineup? Determining whether or not we could actually use this ship is a tall order, but after a lot of thoughts, I think I've discovered the perfect use case. You see, a major problem of ours is that our security wing is too large to manage in the heat of battle. This manifests in decisions like having a cloaky interdictor, a bait character, and other pilots that don't require much input. But what if we could use one of our combat pilots for more than just security? The idea I have is simple. Let's have our main pilot fly the Odysseus to perform security duties and one or more specialist roles simultaneously. But what could justify attempting to use such an expensive, clunky vessel in combat? Well, the specialist role better be pretty important then. Because we don't use an orca much anymore, we're completely relegated to sitting in the ships that we want to use. But the Odysseus has a small ship bay. Although it's not enough to store a ton of ships in, like the orca, it's perfect for hot swapping our interdictor pilot into an insta-locking bomber. With the Odysseus, we can switch small ships to add flexibility to our lineup. A second small bonus granted by the Odysseus' ship bay is the idea of stashing a shuttle inside. Because our porpoise pilot occasionally needs to run to New Eden to extract skills, it's an incredibly awkward experience flying a pod or the porpoise through wormholes. But with the Odysseus stashing a shuttle or two, we can have our pilots run to town and extract skills with no risk. A final specialist use case of the Odysseus is holding compressed gas. Because it has a 50,000 cubic meter expedition hold, which can store gas, it actually serves as a massive increase to the amount of gas we can hold before having to surface for air. Before the Odysseus, we were stuck with the Porpoise's 62,500 M3 mining bay. Now we can hold 112,500 cubic meters of gas, which when compressed is over 1 million M3 of gas. Furthermore, the Odysseus is a safer gas stash as we don't have to lock it down to compress. It doesn't have a random chance of getting combat scanned down and killed, like the Porpoise does. But these specialist use cases hardly justify a ship like the Odysseus on their own. We would need something more concrete to bring the ship into our lineup. Luckily, the ship can carry drones to great effect. With a few drone damage amplifiers and Tech 2 ogres, the Odysseus outputs 800 DPS. By showing up to a fight, dropping and assisting drones, and then micro jump driving away, the Odysseus can assist our ganks by providing a large chunk of DPS with very little risk. With all these benefits in mind, there is one weakness that's undeniable. The ship can be caught on wormholes by a decloaker as it can't equip a nullifier. That means although the Odysseus is infinitely safer than something like an Orca, it cannot be YOLO'd through wormholes lest a small gang catch and kill it. Welcome, Odysseus. You're going to be a great part of the crew. So with the addition of gas cloud scoop mutaplasmids, I wanted to revisit my normalized scoop sheet here. And really the point of this was to be able to quickly kind of visually compare the Tech 1, Tech 2, and Syndicate scoops. The M is for meta level. And it was kind of nice because I could show off that the drain was the same between Tech 2 and Syndicate because the efficiency was lower, etc. But again, with mutaplasmids here, the whole thing has kind of shifted. We don't need to go below Tech 1. We can just assume this is the floor, because who's going to roll something below a Tech 1 and keep it? But there's definitely a new ceiling here, and that is a max rolled Syndicate scoop with unstable mutaplasmid. So I added that to the chart and kind of shifted the numbers over, and you can kind of see, you know, there's this nice progression here now with yield. And you can see that, and this is really the shocking part. You can see that 0.34 is Tech 1, 0.69 is Syndicate, and that gap is 0.35, right? The gap from a Syndicate to a max roll Syndicate is 0.31. So this is an absolute huge delta right here. And it just shows you that the game has really changed a lot. So kind of interesting. Definitely gonna continue to mess with this chart as they add more stuff to this style of gameplay. But yeah, we are in hyperdrive mode now, I guess, is the way to look at this. There's really no prices on them because there's no market for them yet, but they're gonna be pretty expensive. A max rolled plus 10, yeah, that's a good one. So this is theoretical, just keep that in mind. So I have been struggling extremely hard at PvPing with multiple accounts. And this has been a bit of a recurring theme throughout the entire series, but it's really kind of coming to a head now. During the first act of this video, you saw me struggle pretty much non-stop with managing multiple accounts and trying to secure tackle while getting my other characters in or assisting drones. It was just a mess. There were so many mistakes, and what's becoming clear to me is that I don't have the brain. This isn't a skill issue. I don't have the brain to actually manage all these buttons and characters. So to kind of make this happen, to kind of dumb things down a bit for me to be more efficient in the field, I've made some ship changes. Now you're looking at the Eris. This has not changed. Although I have taken the snakes out of this. That's right, there were snakes in this Eris like the whole time. Never lost it really. Never lost the pod somehow. But I'm going to take them out. I don't think I need snakes in here. I think that, if anything, not having them in here will probably get me more kills because I don't have to worry about losing it. If this ship dies, it's no big deal. We're looking at a ship that's under 100 million, right? It's got, instead of blasters, it's got rails. This is really important to understand because, if you recall, this ship really struggled to execute small ships in certain wormhole effects like black holes and whatnot. Switching to rails means we can always hit them at scram range, so there's no longer an issue of no longer applying. So the Ares is pretty much the same. It does less damage to buildings, but it can do its job better. But crucially, it's throwaway. If this ship dies, I do not care. That means I can put it in situations that might get it in trouble and not have to worry, right? That's a big thing right off the bat, is that this ship is now expendable, straight up. Now, sort of the other idea is 3 ships, not just one. We're going to talk about all 3 at once. But the premise is that instead of using kind of 3 or more combat ships to brawl somebody down, the premise is to just brawl them with 1 ship and then add things safely with the other ships. You know, you see this referenced a lot as like drone bunnying or multi-boxing with drone boats. However, I'm looking to do it a little bit less mindlessly. Instead of having like 10 guys assist drones to 1 guy and play him, I want to, you know, make active tackles and then assist drones to the thing that's tackled. Kind of like what I tried to do before, but with more planning and some practice involved. So here's my idea. I'm taking this Legion, right? This Legion is pure tank. I've gone between ham newt, I've gone full newt, I've gone full tank, I've done everything under the sun, and this is my favorite implementation of the Legion. The reason why I like this ship so much is that with just these boosters, this thing can tank 2,000 plus damage. That means if I catch somebody solo or even 2 ships, they really don't have the ability to kill this ship no matter what, unless I run into cap charges, which could happen, but you'll see why that's probably not going to be an issue in a second. So this ship basically can scram, crucially web. This is really important because we've been letting things kind of get away from us with this ship. The Tholos, the Tengu, they all just peeled away. It was really frustrating. So now we have a web and a scram, afterburner, and 2,000 plus EHP per second worth of tank on full swing. So we can grab somebody with this, turn on our tank, and then we have, I don't know, about a 30-second window before we cap ourselves out where we got to go back and eat this, right? So this character is active, but it's not going to die to a random ship. Now, if we tap over to other guys, if you recall, we have a Proteus and an Odysseus. I'm not actually reshipping them, I'm just repurposing the Proteus because we did talk about the Odysseus just earlier. That was before I decided to kind of reconfigure everything. So the Odysseus, you recall, drone damage amps, right? Does a fair bit amount of damage. I'm still working on my skills. It's going to be just shy of 800 when it's done. This can also fit in C-13. It's a very interesting ship, but we're going to complement it with a drone Proteus, right? So we're starting to see how this is working. We have 2 covert cloaky ships with a flight of bonused heavy drones. So once it's held with this ship, we then tab over to other ships, we decloak them, we launch our drones, and then we assist it back to the Legion. And here's the crucial part. We also burn these ships off with their prop mods away from the action, so that these ships are 100% completely no longer needed to actually make the kill happen. The rats shouldn't be able to kill the Proteus or the Odysseus, but even if they do shoot them, we'll have them on a watch list and watch their health. They'll be aligned to a safe spot, they can warp out. The Legion should never die. It should be able to handle just about any small ship we encounter. Now, there's no nuke pressure, it's just drones, but I'm kind of just getting the impression that my biggest problem is just applying damage and holding the guy. So, a couple other things, obviously, with the Odysseus, we mentioned that we can refit over to a bomber, and the Ares here is actually going to be in the bomber pretty primarily. Let's fly over there. And the rationale is that putting the Ares pilot in the Nemesis actually sort of allows you to catch explorers and stuff a lot easier. Now, the Ares is still very important when it comes to, you know, controlling wormholes or making a gank and getting a pod or something like that. But for most days, I would just rather catch a random explorer or scanner that I see making a mistake, right? So The goal is we're going to actually have this ship inside of the Nemesis instead of the Eris at all times. So the Eris pilot is going to be a Nemesis pilot now. Pretty cool. So this is kind of how the lineup works. Ooh, look at the model, it was like glitched. I no longer want to control a bunch of ships in combat. I will control one ship, I will tackle a guy and then assist drones, and that's it. I feel like this is going to make my life so much easier. But I don't know. I do have to throw a nully 1 on here. It's missing a nullifier, I just realized that. In case we need to online it and we go through a wormhole, but... yeah, I'm thinking this is the way forward for me, and if somehow I make kills and I get bigger and better kills in the future, with this strategy, we'll slowly add on a little bit more, you know, E-War or active modules onto the stack over time. But, yeah. So I've always wondered whether or not, when you have a module that is like 4.1 versus 4.9, whether or not it actually was faster. I.e., was it on the global cooldown or not, the server tick? And it's kind of hard to tell looking at it. Kind of seems like maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I decided to finally just do an experiment here, and I've layered 2 audio tracks on top of each other. This one is with an acquisition array on a scanner, this one's with a triplet. This one is 4.6 seconds, this one is 4.1 seconds. And if you look really closely, if I turn this up, it's synced up, right? So it starts here. But you see that? It's true that the second one, or the faster one actually finishes faster. And this is on the same tick, you know it is, because these are going to be 542, 742, right? These are going to be evenly spaced no matter what. This noise plays when it's done. So I want to know if this also is the same for micro jump drives, because this is super relevant. I did not know this. Interesting. I love mapping JSpace. I've loved it ever since I kind of learned what it was. I've loved using mappers ever since I stumbled upon Pathfinder. You saw me in previous episodes. I even talked about hosting my own. In this episode, we talked about Wanderer, which is like a newer community-built mapper. But, you know, there's really no getting around it. Even, like, all of these mappers are overkill for me. Even if I like using them, they are just way too bulky. There's way too many features on there that aren't made for solo players. Those are really made for groups. And that's just the truth. Can you use Pathfinder, Wanderer, Galaxy Finder, and whatnot for solo use? Of course, you can. But it's honestly cumbersome. And as I kind of learn more about computers in my own life, I've kind of picked up a couple of things that have kind of transformed the way that I view mapping. So as mysterious as that sounds, I'm going to make it very simple. I no longer use Wanderer or Pathfinder or anything like that. In fact, I don't use any mapper anymore. I have built my own and have been using my own for a little bit now. But it's not a normal mapper. It's not a group mapper. It's not online. It has nothing to do with the normal mapping routine you're used to. All the way down to the point where it's not even a GUI. There's nothing graphical about it. It's just text. So why would I do this? Well, this mapper is actually faster and more efficient for me, for what I do, than any mapper I've seen. And that really is the reason. But there's also the reason of just having fun building stuff for the game. So I'm going to show you what the mapper looks like. It is in the terminal. So it's all text-based, right? So I type map top. It's going to list out all the signatures that I left in here yesterday. So let's just look at a normal mapping routine here, and I'll kind of show you the features in here and why I use it. So if you were to grab all the signatures here, like you would with any other mapper, and copy them, copy 19 to clipboard, you just go in here, instead of Control V, after clicking on the right system in like a GUI mapper, you would just issue a command, map lazy. What that's going to do is lazily paste the maps and deletes all of the ones that are no longer there all at once. So you can see my mapper is telling me that I need to delete these signatures because they're no longer present. So let's just do that first. ASQ, JGX, and mix. Gone. Now it's saying that we've picked up a few more signatures. We have HBL, we have 2 L's, we have MGD, TV, and VCI. We're gonna ignore everything but those, right? So now we'd go over here and we would scan the system down. Let me do that real quick. Okay. There's a random pacifier sitting here. While I was trying to do my recording. Guess I gotta move quick here. Get on the right character. I'm really trying to see if I can race it to get my nemesis here in time to actually catch the fucking guy. Stuck in a wall there. Alright. Well, that's nice. Was not expecting that. Saved my little nemesis, too. Guess he had guns on there. Well, let's go back and look what it was. What the hell? Get warp core stab. That's awesome. Hit lasers. Nice. That was silly. Alright, so while I was scanning, another signature actually popped up, this AMS signature. I just added that real quick. So now for the moment of magic. So we have these signatures here that we've scanned down. We're going to copy those and go here and issue the command map add. And you're going to see that it fills out just one of those. Just one. These other ones are wormholes, right? And they need to be manually labeled. Fortunately, this is tremendously easy. Just map the tag and then the label. See this? Map LJW. So we just labeled all of them in like 1 second. To label all of these and where they're headed, it takes a bunch of clicks in most UIs. And this is really the power right here. Now, what happens when we go through a wormhole? Well, let's go through MJD. Show you what happens. So first of all, while we're flying there, I'm going to tell you that MJD is a static. I can tell by the strength of the wormhole. So this is going to be a 5, a 6, or a nullsec. We have no idea which one. It is a 5. Beautiful. So let's save this real quick. We'll save this as MGD 5S, right? And we'll get rid of the old one. So that's right here. Now we're also going to match this in the mapper here. Map MGD 5S, right? So let's go inside and I'll show you the magic of how this works. Remember, this is offline. It doesn't pull from anything. There's no like online database. It doesn't do API. It doesn't tell you where you are. You have to tell it where you are. And that sounds like it's going to be a huge nightmare, but check out how easy this is. So I'm going to say map MGD space, and then we're going to go in the wormhole. All you have to do to register a new system on this mapper is, wait for it, type in the J code 152739. Enter. Now it fetches from a local database I've set up the J code, the statics, the weather, the shattered status, etc. Right? So now you'd come in here, you would go map add, and then all the signatures appear in the new system. If you want to scan this down, you can then do the same process. Now let's say you want to go back up. Map up brings you up a directory. Map top brings you to the top. Map full shows you the entire directory here. Now let's just say you only want to see gas. You can go map gas, and it only prints out wormholes and gas. This allows you to see all the gas in your chain very quickly, right? Also, if you have a big chain and you have multiple entrances to K-space, you can do map paths and it will only show wormholes. Granted, I don't have a map built, just I scanned just local signatures in front of me, so there's not going to be a path here. You can see the speed of this, right? It's not going to calculate how far you are from jitta, anything like that. All those fancy things you don't really have access to. I could probably add them, they're just not necessary. I know where I am. But I'm using this full time now. I've been using this for a while, actually. And I'd like to eventually code it in, you know, Python or something like that for my own personal reasons, but this is a full-fledged map diary. It really is. And it gets everything I need done, and it's very fast, and I love typing, and I love manipulating things, and having to click around on web browsers, and having things go offline, and having OPSEC concerns. It just got old to me. So this is the new way I do it, and I guess it's kind of weird, but why not? So on the subject of gas harvesting, you know, we've covered a lot in this episode, but I kind of want to just put a cap on everything. And really, what we're looking at now is I have the ability to field a full set, so 8 of these, of +9 abyssal gas cloud scoops. I'll just let you get a look at these real quick. These are all going to be +9s, every last one of these. So I can field these on my prospects and get an absolutely astronomical amount of gas cubic meters per second, right? I can also equip these micro warp drives here and upgrade their speed and kind of get everything a little bit faster if I want. You can also see I have this micro warp drive from the Outrider, which has the signature radius roll reduction on it. See that? So what I'm getting at here is we now have a bit of an armory. And what you're not looking at is we also have 8 Tech 1 scoops. Now, why would you go from almost the best scoops in the game all the way back down to the starter scoops? Well, it's kind of going full circle now. There are instances where I don't want to field all of this ISK and risk it all just to do a couple of clouds. And in those instances, I would log on my prospect and my Odysseus, uncloak it, and allow them to refit off of the abyssal scoops and the faction micros to Tech 1 stuff, right? And anytime I want, I can have them refit back if I'm feeling more active. This is amazing for me. I love this. I can kind of just turn my brain off or turn it on depending on what I'm trying to do. If you see an instrumental core and you have a couple hours to kill, you might just want to do it manually. But if you're just AFKing, kind of, you know, multitasking, well, that's a lot different. You might want Tech 1s and just leave it on in the background. And if you lose a ship, it's really not a big deal, right? So this is pretty much where I'm at. I'm not really using the halos. You can use them. It does reduce the chance of your ship dying, but the numbers are satisfying without them. I'm also not permanently 5MN Jedi mind tricking vital cores, and the reason for that is because the numbers are just better with the afterburner. You might as well just equip both and just offline this and online this. That's kind of what I'm doing now. So while we proved that you can use 5MNs to kind of unify the whole theory and to kind of make sense of it all, it's still better to use these. So I just flip them on and off, just like I was doing before. But the truth is I understand everything now way better. And I have such an arsenal of amazing scoops. You know, on an instrumental core, if the day is right, if the prices are right on the market, I can make 1 billion ISK per hour on C320 with my setup. Now, ISK per hour is a lie. It's not to be trusted. It's misleading, but I just kind of want to give you a sense for how far we've come from like 40, 50 million per account to all the way up to almost 200 million. So shocking and flexible and not permanently a risk. And the Odysseus kind of ties it all together. There's really another justification for the ship is we can stash valuable things in it because we never risk it, right? And then we can refit things on it. So it's like a big mobile depot. It's pretty nice. Anyway. I love gas. In this episode, we followed our security wing as it took down valuable targets, our labor wing as it upgraded its equipment and techniques, our specialist wing as it managed everything we do, and finally, we followed up on a few things and talked out some esoteric game mechanics. This was not a normal episode of a Nomad Tale, but it was an enlightening one for me. Beyond the game's mechanics that I learned about and the experiences I had with other players, this was the first episode recorded and produced entirely on Linux instead of Windows, but most interestingly, this is going to be the final episode that's off of Rails. What this means for the future of this series is that subsequent episodes will focus on telling a story or exploring a part of Eve, not just following along as Jolly Ranchers does its business as usual. The reason for this is undeniable. I think episodes are more entertaining and enjoyable when they tell a story, and they're much easier to produce, which means I could spend more time making the video instead of worrying about stringing something together after the fact. Eve is truly a remarkable game. It's been over 2 decades since it was launched, and while one could reasonably argue that the game is a bit of a house of cards with regards to development and the willingness to make big changes, the developers still go out on a limb and continue to shake things up. The addition of the Odysseus was just so unexpected and awesome. Even if it's not entirely how you or I would have designed it, it's just such a welcome treat. But there are issues. The addition of the Outrider and Mutaplasmids for gas cloud scoops are both changes that, while interesting, aren't useful to the gameplay loop. The ability to collect more gas per second doesn't change the actual issues with the playstyle itself, like being too safe or bypassing the intended mechanics of the rats that guard the sites. It just means that if you don't have the best tools, you're now going to earn less when gas drops in price as a result of more of it being entered into the economy. But with all that said, the Outrider is pretty cool, and I had a fun time rolling scoops, so perhaps I oughtn't fuss. Sometimes I feel like I could talk forever in this format, but I've been talking for hours now, and it's time for us to wrap things up. I want you to chase truth, challenge yourself, and be good to others. Thank you for watching. Take care.